And we are back from our uneventful absence. I'm certainly here. Seth might still be feeding his
I
dog.
have returned.
Wonderful. Hopefully, a well-fed pooch also.
No, I was getting cold water for me. The pooches is fine.
Love to hear it. So, all right, my dude, we are looking into the bottom of the innings for Tyler versus Sean. Points have not yet been updated. So, you know what? You guys just didn't miss anything. Don't worry. Nothing happened. It's fine. But I do expect Tyler's points to have stayed virtually the same.
Yeah, like we were saying, I don't see a way for Tyler really to score a whole lot besides maybe one turn of stranglehold.
Yeah, me too. I feel like one more turn of Stranglehold is pretty much all we could expect. Maybe he gets another kill with the Vindicators for small bring it down points, but that's literally it. Like
Maybe.
the
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he could definitely get 3 or 5 points there.
the
Oh,
the
looks like Sean's moving the Mecha Dread in to try to kill the Vindicators, though.
Yeah, I mean he himself has bring it down, so he has to go for those points,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And the Gorkanauts got that objective locked up from those cultists. They're
Yeah, so
taking that.
so it is possible that he'll have a 4 at the start of his turn.
All right, I
Should
believe we're seeing some Overwatch.
should anything on the bottom left manage to survive.
It looks like we got one. I think we survived Overwatch.
Yeah, I think I saw him roll a 6.
Sean, you didn't even roll the extra dice.
Don't need it. Who needs it? Extra dice. Ugh.
All right, yeah, and then Gorkanauts going in to finish off those
Yeah.
poor lonely cultists.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's gonna
Same
be
thing. I don't know if the
yep. All right,
Gorkanaut on
more.
the is there anything in front of the Gorkanaut on the bottom left?
There don't. I think there's something there, but I don't know what it is. But the Morkanaut just went around the corner to kill the Raptors, so
Kill the
that'll get it back
Raptors,
on the
yeah.
objectives.
Yeah, exactly right.
And for those at home that don't know what a Mega Dread does in combat with 2 Ripaclaws,
Oh.
that bad boy will be rocking a total of 7 attacks. Yep, 7 attacks at strength 14, neg 3, 3 plus D3 damage.
Nice. 7 attacks, you say?
Yeah. Well, 6. It'll be 6 because sorry, I'm thinking WOG, but
Crazy.
All right. It looks like there was
Lucas.
a character that he charged in against there.
Yeah, Tyler did just pick up the Raptors. He didn't even bother rolling the dice. There was only 2
Yep.
Raptors left. He just picked them up. It looks like there was something railroading the Gorkanaut, so it couldn't get around the corner. So Tyler will pick up 4 points on primary.
Yeah.
For sure, which is nice. Love to see it.
Yeah. I mean, keeping some points. You got to try to get some points to stay in this game.
What is that data sheet that he's got up there? Is that the Chaos Lord and Terminator armor? Because that's the only one I haven't had accounted for in my head canon yet. Yeah, that looks like.
Oh,
Well,
whoever it is, it's dead.
absolutely smush.
Yep. All right. Mega Dread.
Just checking back in with our chat, see who's still with us. Nukeman 404, is it normal for the stream to stop and start? No, we're having technical difficulties above and beyond the norm. Unfortunately, that one was that was at the network level, so that was literally the internet provider had a bit of a fritz, which caused us to have some issues. Should iron out as the day goes on, and there is a phenomenal amount of moving parts involved in any stream, let alone one as big as this one. So please bear with us. It's all for the kids.
All right.
So, was there anything Tyler could have done differently, or could have secondary wise could have taken differently to get himself a bit more agency here, or is this as good as it gets?
I don't know. I mean, we were talking about yeah, I mean, he had a lot of little units. He could have. Ray's Banners was betting that he would never let Sean cross midfield.
Yeah, which seems ambitious in hindsight, right?
Yeah. Versus if you want to take the safe bet, you do engage or R&D. They get some points with those throwaway units.
Yep.
Because the reality is, you think about it, they like the deep striking Terminators, the deep striking Raptors, the Possessed, that Rhino, they didn't really score him much besides 1 turn of Stranglehold.
That's correct. Yeah, he didn't get much return for the investment there at all, did he?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what we get here point wise.
Yeah, it looks like we're going into the top of turn 5. It looks like one Vindicator has just fallen back from the Mega Dread. They should be falling back in opposite directions. Like, of course, one falls back up, one falls back down. But they won't shoot.
They don't have the access to fall back and shoot.
No, they don't. They won't be shooting again this game. In fact, I'm not even sure what's occurring here. This could just be a couple of punches in combat straight into it. Because, yeah, there's not much else to do.
Yeah, because, I mean, I think literally all that's left is that unit of Chaos Marines in the bottom left.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Whatever character that is down there in the bottom right for Chaos. And
then he'll just clap back. His turn 5 will be almost... Just see if he picks up any Vindicator points, pretty much.
So it looks like the only things that died were the Mega Tanks and the Def Dreads. And that only 2 of the 3 Def Dreads.
Yeah, exactly right. Pretty nuts, but it just shows you just how ineffectual these profiles are. Let's just hope it's all better from here for Chaos.
Yeah. Well, yesterday in the list discussion, Colin and Richard see. Oh, well, there's a Gorkanaut. Never mind. What the heck?
Oh, snap!
They were talking about maybe with this many T7 and T8 bodies, was it kind of reaching that skew point where the lists that were brought didn't have enough anti-tank to deal with him?
I think in this case, certainly. The Tyranids, maybe the Hive Guard can pop off.
Yeah.
And Swarmlords definitely picks up something a turn, pretty much. But definitely neither of the Marine lists had a chance, had a hope in hell. The Eldar actually wouldn't be crazy into them.
No, yeah. Those Wraiths are pretty hardy.
Yeah, the Wraiths actually go pretty well here as well. Their damage output's pretty respectable. Mind you, what's the other list? The Sisters. The Sisters would have had absolutely nothing for this list, by the way.
No.
Like 0, less than 0. They would have done worse into this than this.
They're adding it up now, assuming Sean wins. So this will be our last bad RTT. So we have Orks, Nids, Eldar, and then Ultramarines advancing.
Yes, we do. Where do we? What would be the spiciest to funnest matchups there? We just had a handshake. We'll get a final score for you guys. Yeah. We might pivot over and wait for our man in the mirror to tell us what the final score is. I'm assuming Sean's actually pretty close to 100 points. Because he would have got 12s for the last 3 turns of the game, right? So almost definitely maxed his primary, which would have put him. I think he missed 1 turn of Stranglehold. I think, when he was walled off it. But apart from that, yeah.
All right. If the tech gurus want to flip us over to the other game, we could see what's going on there, or if not, we could go.
Here we go. The rich are getting richer here. It's almost 30-point deficit for Mitch, and look, he's pretty much tabled, isn't he? He's got a couple of immolators left. That's about it.
Yeah.
Rough dead, the opposite of the Sisters.
For the Sisters of Battle there.
Just ill-equipped for the
I
matchup.
think that's the Exorcist down there in the bottom left.
Oh, true.
Top left is the Immolator. There looks like there's a few Sisters left strung out towards that middle objective, fighting Swarmy and the Malin.
Looks like there's a few next to Swarmy.
Down to 1 wound?
I hope so, and I hope they get him. Like, just get him. Ladies, pull him down. Put him in his place. Absolutely rough if he's on 1 wound and doesn't go down.
That's so demoralizing when you work all game to get that one guy killed and he just kind of trots along on 1 wound, like, no big deal.
Don't the Crimson Fists have an anti-orc thing? Yes, they do, I believe, but they're not going to be playing him because the Crimson Fists lost, unfortunately. They lost to the Eldar.
They lost the Squeaker, yep.
Yeah, pretty close game by all reports. This one looks pretty cooked for Mitch. We can almost price this one up as well. I mean, Mitch is probably not scoring any primary anymore for the game. Like, it's probably... That's it. He's staying where he is at an 8, which is the difference. Like, Mitch's secondary score is still higher than Matt's, but Matt went first and just decided Mitch wasn't getting any primary, and that has held true. Going first was just a huge deal. Mitch would probably have it over again and just have a bunch of emulators in front, all the emulators in front. In fact, the Exorcist as well, and then just have all the sisters just sitting like an inch or two behind them, and then the first turn blowout can't happen.
Well,
I got him.
He's down.
Yes.
He's down.
Mitch may have lost.
Moral victory.
But his pride is intact.
Yeah. Good work, Mitch.
Yeah, Exorcist can't even shoot into combat because John gave it the blast gun. Love it.
Because John is evil man.
Yeah. Spiteful John Lennon.
We all know John Lennon is a spiteful, angry little man. Love you, John.
Love you too, John.
I said it first.
You did. John got knocked out, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Is the Nids the spiritual successor to the meat wall?
It's the Nids are they're a meat carpet.
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
I don't know how comfortable I say.
Nah,
that, but,
please let's not.
Then we got the Chonky Boys and the Orks.
Yep. It's the mech carpet, that one, or the mech wall, I don't know, whatever. What did they call that? What did they call that formation in 7th edition? Because I built that formation.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
You're asking me to remember multiple editions ago. I feel like 9th edition has been 4 editions on its own.
It's been so much. There's been so much. It's exhausting at times, but invigorating at others. So here for it. Come on, Mitch, find a way. Do something crazy. Do we have a man in the booth? Do we have a final score for the other game?
Man in the box. Let's go with man in the box. I like that.
I like man in the mirror. Dorian Grace.
Man in the box.
Sweet Jesus. I like the Dorian Gray reference.
All right. What are we doing here, guys?
I think this is just DACA. Just bits and pieces. Just some sisters trying to do what they can.
Just murder.
But I'm pretty sure this is the sisters in the middle getting shot. Probably by Devourers. I keep waiting to see the handshake. I keep being like, the handshakes should only be like moments away, because this is singular limb. Like as soon as you're going down, you're down. You're down for the count. But mind you, like doing that is a bit of a disservice to your opponent. It should give them the opportunity to get as good a score as they can get. Which in Matt's case is going to be, well, I don't know how much Mitch gives up for Assassinate, but it should almost be max on Strangle and Banners, right?
Definitely. I mean, maybe he lost that bottom right objective once.
Yes, maybe. Yeah, it's possible.
But yeah, I mean, still plenty of time for him to rack up them banner points.
Yeah, exactly right. Tons of time. In the chat, what matchups do Don't even bother coming back to us. Just go straight to Colin, and Colin can give him the final scores. Will do.
Have a good night, gentlemen.
I'm live? Hi! We're having a little bit of internet problems. We're going to try to get that solved before our much more charity hammer goes by. You always know the internet's bad at my house because my teenagers have emerged from their rooms and are here to report that the internet is down instead of they're certainly not here because of anything we're doing. Which there's also snacks out here, Sean says. Sean, come sit down with me and talk to the stream for a few minutes if you don't mind.
Can I do it with a sandwich in hand?
No, because the stuff is in the... Oh, no, he brought it back out. You totally could do it with a sandwich in your hand. I'll wait. All right, let's give some stuff away. Billy, I'm on stream. People are watching me. And you're having a conversation with my kids. Hello. Okay, so we're going to give some more stuff away. Just to remind you, every $30 you donate gets you a raffle ticket. We're trying to raise $50,000, $10,000 more than we raised last year. We're at $7,653, which is not a bad amount of money at all. Just to make sure that that's up to date. It's going. 7,731.65. Here comes Sean. The man, the myth, the legend, Sean Naden. The man who will paint an army for you.
I will.
If you donate money and you win the raffle. Now, is there any restriction to this?
I mean, we'll talk.
Okay.
I'm not painting 700 models.
Yeah, right?
But like...
My wife was a commissioned painter until someone made her paint 100 boys, and now she's not a commissioned painter anymore. And I think that's completely fair math, don't you think? Look, someone only had her paint 100 boys. That was the only thing they wanted her to paint. She didn't even get the joy of like painting the other fun orc stuff. It was like only the miserable, this guy has 7 straps here, and this guy's got 4 straps here.
An orc boy isn't an easy thing to paint.
No, they have a lot of detail on them.
They've got like a, and it's all like different stuff too, like leather straps on top of shirt, on top of flesh, on top of
right,
weapon and this. So they're interesting things. But yeah, no, like we're gonna do a 2,000 point army.
Yeah,
and whoever wins, we'll talk. And
okay,
we'll finesse it out.
That sounds great. Okay, so starting off, we have another War Room subscription to give away, and we're going to give it to Mark Murphy, who I think is already in the War Room, but we're going to give it to him anyways. That'll be great. And then we're also in the spirit of AdMech getting better, because we haven't really talked about the fact that AdMech had 5 nerfs in the data slate, and now they only have 2. So with AdMech getting better,
which is an interesting thing, because right, GW doesn't usually roll nerfs back.
But AdMech is really bad.
Right, but I'm saying like, they usually find a way to be like, hey, we'll change the points. So they don't actually just usually roll things away that they've put in. So that is a nuanced approach.
And they're also all changes that I think are fine coming back. So, yeah, so let's give a Cataphren box and a Castellan box. They're sitting right here, that's why I'm looking at them. And we're going to give them to Mitch Beard. That's what we're going to do. Now, Mitch Beard is actually a Sisters player. He actually runs the... what's it called? Sister Act podcast. It's all about Sisters of Battle. So I don't know that he'll be excited about these AdMech at all, but maybe he will. Maybe he would like to ally some Sisters and some AdMech together for some reason that I'm not aware of. I presume they both lose tremendous amounts of important rules if you do that. Probably. Neither of us know. I'm a Xenos player. How about you? Also a Xenos player.
I only played pointy years.
Yeah, right? But they're also Xenos. So, I don't have Sisters of Battle or AdMech. So, yeah, there you go. Okay, so let's hear about your game with Tyler of playing the Orks. How bad was that list?
It's a bad list.
Were there turns where you're shooting and you just didn't do any damage?
I was lucky that Tyler realized what his plan should have been 2 turns too late.
Okay.
So he should have just been like, here's something dumb in your way, your whole army is stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something dumb in your way.
Here's a Vindicator in your way, right?
A Rhino in your like a Rhino stops my army from moving across the board with how the terrain is set up. Like, but so he came forward to try and do the cool Vindicator trick, and he had the Possessed try and make a charge, and the Possessed failed to charge turn 1. And so then they were left in the wind, and I was able to just kind of like pile into the middle and then pile through him a little bit. And he deep struck a bunch of stuff, but like didn't double check all his things, and didn't deep strike the Terminator Lord with the Terminators to give them reroll 1s. So 3 of them died to their own plasma shots. They came in, and then
that feels bad.
Ignominiously shot off the board by Grot tanks.
The Terminators were?
Well, there's only 2 left after they died to plasma.
Oh, so, fair. That's fair.
So I shot him on Overwatch, and then they didn't make the charge, and then I shot him the next turn. So
I used to play when I played Space Marines. I used to play the Plasma Inceptors, and even with reroll 1s, I found that they would just kill themselves like crazy. So without reroll 1s, Plasma is certainly taking randomness into your own hands.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you don't overthink, or if you don't outthink that orc list, it is a bunch of high toughness stuff with a lot of wounds, and once it like starts to reach,
yeah,
it's kind of cool. But all you have to do is like put like a rock in front of it,
and it's like no, what now? Well,
rock.
While we have you here, can you tell them a little bit about what you're going to play in the GT?
So I'm going to play some Orks.
Because they have pointy ears. He's explained.
They do have pointy ears. Because a bunch of people asked why I wasn't playing pointy ears, but the Orks do have pointy ears.
Yes.
And it was something I bought. I always like the look of the Ork models.
Yeah,
Ork
well, they're amazing.
And I bought it early in COVID as a paint project, and for 2 years only painted one model.
Yes.
And
he's like the coolest model. So.
You know, then tournaments came back, and so I was updating my Eldar, my Dark Eldar for various things for last year's tournament season. So I never got back to the Orks, and then during the last 6 months when I wasn't playing in any events, I started to paint them. Figured out, and I wanted to bring them out somewhere and just mess around with them. And apparently they got a little buff this morning. So
are you playing Goths?
I am playing Goths.
Oh, you have to because Gaz is Goths.
Okay.
I'm not an Orc expert.
I tried to pick my list mostly on models that were cool and I wanted to paint, and I included Gaz because he was already painted and cost a lot of points, so that limited what else I had to paint.
Nice. What else do you have?
I've got 2 units of both Mega Knobs and regular knobs.
Well, I love Mega Knobs.
I would probably bring more Mega Knobs in theory, but again, my Mega Knobs are more complex to paint than some of the other things on our list, so it's just let's put that aside for a little bit.
Okay.
Also, I think the regular knobs hit like a little truck. They can't take it back up or up saves.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's interesting because now at strength 9 with big choppers, against a knight or something, they're like, oh.
We win that night on 3s. We're that mad.
We're that mad, yeah. So they have some cool. I think they have some cool play, depending what you're running into. And I've got unit of boys, unit of beast snagger boys. I got some of the big hog boys, the knobs. All those things look really cool.
All right.
The knobs and Squiggas.
Squigosaur?
No, I don't. He wasn't painted. I have a Mega Armor boss and a bike boss.
Okay. Well,
and 2 battle wagons.
Looking at the agenda, you're actually about to play again.
Am I really?
I should let you go. Yeah, because you did well. Because you won your game with your Orks. You're going to be punished to win if you play the Orks. You have to play the Orks again, Sean. This is Charity Hammer. This is how it works.
All right.
All right. So you're going to play, and you're playing against Hank. Oh, the Eldar list you wrote. But we removed all those pesky Aztec warriors and put Wraith Blades with no buffs on them in there.
But I can't kill Phoenix Lords.
No, you really can't.
In multiple phases.
No, you really can't. But don't worry, we picked the 3 most crappy missions as well.
Oh,
so I think it's Data Scry Salvage. I think is the one that you're doing now. So just go first.
We'll find out.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna let you go because I realized that.
The tall table. The big boy table, please.
Yeah, sure.
Yay! My bag. One of the tables here is taller than the other.
Well, that makes sense too, because otherwise you'd be playing on the same table twice, which is dumb.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna switch you guys. Oh, is it Hank? Hold on.
Intrigue.
Because Hank beat Fred. And so I have, this is all messed up. Okay, so hold on. So Noah and Hank are playing on table 2. And you are playing whoever the other person that won is, which is Matt Evans. You're playing Tyranids.
Yeah.
Not good Tyranids.
No. 60 Devourer Gaunts.
20 Gene Stealers.
12 Hive Guard.
Yep.
Swarmy. And
6 Sky Slashers.
And a Mountain Throw.
No, the Hive Guard are good against me.
The Mountain Thrope's amazing against you.
Mountain Thrope's pretty good against me.
It's really good against you.
I just had to play Alpha Legion too.
Oh, fair. Yeah, that's a reasonable point.
Yeah, no.
You did a bunch of crumping too, probably, right?
My shooting did really well when I got close to the Alpha Legion. I was like, spray it in their face.
Yeah, so you're on table 1 with Matt.
All
right. So we'll see Sean. We'll let him go demonstrate his Orc dominance now.
I haven't played this times this week.
Well, then you have to lose now if you don't want to play it a 3rd time. Mitch, do you want to come tell the people about playing Sisters for the first time?
Sure.
Okay. Hey, guys. It's Mitch.
Hey, everybody.
Mitch and Colin in the afternoon.
in the evening.
And that's right. Yeah. No, we are literally doing Mitch and Colin in the morning. I don't know if you saw that on the agenda, because we have a 6 a.m. hour-long thing on Sunday.
Yep.
That's us.
Oh, yeah.
And I figure that if anyone can be silly at 6 o'clock in the morning, I think we need coffee mugs.
Oh, yeah.
And
I have one
smells.
that says geek. Yeah. Okay. I have one that says geek. Yeah. I will bring it.
Okay, we're gonna do Mitch and Colin in the morning, and it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
So how was playing Sisters?
It was really fun. It reaffirms to me how much I need 12 penitent engines in my life.
Okay, you really like the penitent engines.
Oh, they're so good and they're so much fun. They are. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna charge. That's all I'm doing. I don't care about anything else. Armor of Contempt makes them much harder to just chip away. And then
they're a 4-up.
They're a 4-up.
Okay.
But they have a 5-up. Feel no pain.
Right.
Right. So that really it really makes a big difference.
Okay. What happened in your game?
Both Matt and I forgot that Hive Guard are not 36-inch range anymore.
Yes.
So I deployed my army thinking, well, he has 36-inch range, I have 36-inch range. It's kind of who goes first and gets the best angles, and then he went first. However, they are 24-inch range, and I could have deployed 12 inches further back since it was the scouring and made him just have to keep coming to the middle and feed stuff, and he would not have had enough stuff to feed, and he would not have been able to launch Gene Stealers at me nearly as effectively. But, it's basically playing back in edition to remember all of that. So if you live and learn. Sisters were fun. Armor of Contempt is real. It feels very different with Sisters than it does for Marines. Like in the sense of what is being allowed to get through. I feel like it feels a little more significant with Sisters because their units tend to be a little bit more fragile.
Yeah, I played against Sisters at the GT last weekend, and I thought shooting Sisters of Battle right now that are standing in cover is weird.
Yeah,
like you're just a sister, right?
Yeah.
Like I understand that you're T3, but this 2-up save ignoring an AP is real.
Well, and then they step out of cover, and you think, oh, they're going to be fine, and then they disappear. They're like gone.
Because they die?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're really good in cover. The second they toe out, they just evaporate.
So. All right, you and I are going to give our predictions for what's about to happen.
Sure.
So the second round of the terrible RTT is happening, and a lot of work is happening to make sure everybody has lists ready for the GT tomorrow, where we're playing everything new.
Yeah.
New missions, new points, all of the stuff. So look forward to that. All of our separate streams will go live before that. So you'll be able to watch, if you're an Eldar player and you want to watch Hank play 16 Shining Spear Sam Hain, which we think is actually good.
I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Yeah,
sounds great.
Yeah, it's just, it turns out having a lot of AP4 is really good right now.
And moving really far.
Yeah, they go 22 inches. That's pretty great. I love that they made the Eldar, this is a long time ago, but I love that Eldar flying things don't roll their advances.
No, they just do it.
They just do it. And like, as an Eldar player, there's so much to that in your planning and in your execution.
Consistency, reliability.
Yeah, it's so much faster than a thing that rolls in advance. So, anyways.
There's a whole list mechanic around that guard built around, because they had a warlord trait where you pick one squad, and you're like, hey, you guys get to auto advance 6, and you'd move.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to just have that all the time for everything is great.
Yeah, I agree. So the next round is Sean is going to play his Orks.
Yep.
Into Matt Evans' Nids.
Yes.
What do we think is going to happen?
So basically, Matt Evans has to see how hard Swarm he can carry. That's a big part of what's going to get him through that. He can launch the Gene Stealers to take out the right units, but the problem is any blast weapons that Sean has are really going to be able to maximize their efficacy against all of the giant squads that Sean has. He does have some fast Ripper Swarms, or not Rippers, the Sky Slashers. He has a couple of those that he can throw up to move block and stuff. So if he can get that going and really slow down Sean's army, while also taking advantage of the Malanthrope's -1 to shoot, it's going to be really effective against a lot of what Sean's going on. And then it's going to be down to whether or not Swarmlord lives long enough to clear things out.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting because the Termagants in the Malanthrope aura are an impossible problem for that Orc list.
Yeah.
Even with Blast, everything's hitting on 6s. So I think that that's a real issue. But at the same time, that Tyranid list has no ability to kill those Orc vehicles.
Just Swarmlord and then the Hive
and a prayer,
Guard, sort of.
And a prayer,
Yeah.
yes. And the Hive Guard sort of, and maybe those Devil Gaunts will shoot.
The Gene Stealers, if they charge, sure. They can kill one, but they're going to die in exchange. So it's a trade. You have to trade up.
Yeah, exactly right. So I think yes.
Quick question. Yeah, what is the mission for the next round?
The second terrible one, right? And then they describe salvage as third?
No, scouring is third.
The scouring was first.
Scouring first.
So it's tied.
So what is it?
It's like Tide of Conviction.
Tide of Conviction.
Tide of Conviction.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think that Matt can just win by move blocking.
Yes.
And not kill anything.
It's very possible. I believe that the Orks can do some good damage in combat, though. So it's really making sure he can not be chewed through too fast. He has to pace himself.
Yes. Yeah, if all those vehicles charge into those Termagants, they will disappear.
Yeah.
All right, so the other game is Noah playing his I have a bunch of dudes in my pulsers, which has to fill you with happiness.
Oh, I love that list.
Yeah, and he's playing against Hank's I have 6 Phoenix Lords and a whole bunch of Wraith Blades.
Yeah. I feel like the Wraith Blades are very durable.
Yes.
But a lot of the shooting that exists in Noah's list just doesn't care.
Does it have AP?
He'll have 1 to 2 AP.
Okay.
But the main thing for him is that the damage reduction isn't getting any real value there.
Sure, true.
Almost all of his shooting is damage 1.
It's really good against the Thunderhammers because
Yes.
each sergeant has a Thunderhammer,
The
so it's really good against that.
are pros and cons, right? So it's better. It's really down to how well Noah leverages his mobility over the slowness of the Wraiths.
Mm-hmm.
He has the ability to pick up squads, redeploy them, and do a lot of stuff that can keep him out of the real threat range of the Wraiths and chip away and make sure that he's like, okay, now I can go in and absolutely commit and kill with my Thunderhammer and whatever else I'm using.
Yeah.
But I'd have to see the rest of the. Is it all combat wraiths or
Yeah,
is it?
it is.
Oh, it's all combat wraiths. He can move around fast enough for the most part to stay out of range of that, but his shooting efficacy takes a real hit.
Well, those Wraith Blades are impulsors still minus to be charged?
No.
Okay. So those Wraith Blades. Oh, that was repulsors, not impulsors, anyways, wasn't it?
Whatever.
Whatever.
They both had it.
Okay. Wraith Blades absolutely will shred those.
Yeah.
So he can open them if they get near him.
Yeah.
So that's
sort
interesting.
of the problem.
Yeah, and then the Phoenix Lords are an impossible problem for that Ultramarines army.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, they're not something that they can. They're just going to keep trying to shoot at them, and it's like, okay, turn 4, they're all dead. Maybe if you can shoot at them every turn.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. All right. And then on stream 3, we're going to have Josh Schutz playing, not Tyler Bortel, playing, oh yes, playing Tyler Bortel, that's right. That's the Outward Realms final. Yep. So that's going to be Batra into whatever Tyler's playing. Oh, it's got to be Bugs.
It's Bugs.
Yeah. Batra into,
Hexagoda.
Thank you, Hexagoda. God, I was really going. My brain was really going.
I love the Hexagoda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one's going to be on the Outward Realms YouTube, which we've been linking all day. You guys have another hour or 2 to donate before we give away more stuff. I will tell you, I already had 30 things to give away. There is a pile of things over here next to our good friend Zach. It looks like these are new things that weren't on the list already. There's a repulsor. What are some of those things, Zach? Zengors.
There's a Gladiator.
Gladiator.
There's a Deathkiller Wartrike.
Deathkiller Wartrike.
I got a bunch of sister stuff.
Squeak Rider.
Consider stuff. I see the Red Gobbo, which this will be the 4th Red Gobbo I've given away. The Christmas Goblin. We basically end up with one of those every year that has to be given away. So I'm very familiar with him. So that's another, what is that? $400 of 40K product that we've added on to the ridiculous amount of stuff we're giving away. So if you haven't donated yet, why not? Is it because you think that sick children suck? Is that what it is?
I mean, children being sick does suck.
Yes, but the children themselves are fine.
I mean, probably. Also.
Well, some of them are jerks.
Yeah, some of them are probably great.
Yeah, most of the sick children are probably fine.
They all deserve comfort in a hospital, and they all deserve to have a good time through a very hard time.
That's a very true story. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you guys have ever had to have a kid that has to go to Children's Hospital, our littlest was born with a deformity on it right here, like right in his right on his vocal cords on the outside, and he had to have them removed. And it is miserable taking children to a hospital. So what Child's Play is doing is an incredibly huge thing. And that's why we raise as much money as we do. So please donate, right? We're doing great. We've passed what we did in the first year already.
Oh, man.
So we'll hopefully pass what we did in the second year tonight sometime. But we are moving right along. Mr. Zach, on the 1s and 2s, how are those games look? Are they getting set up?
They're getting set up. They're getting there. We're
maybe vamp for another 10 minutes or so before we hand off to them?
Let's take a look. Yeah, their objectives are in place on one of the tables.
Okay. So maybe we'll talk for another 10 minutes or so before we hand it off.
After, we can do that indefinitely.
That's true. We have done that before. Early Biff pods were like 4 hours long, if people don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know yet that my job is to make sure we follow a schedule.
Yep.
Because Mitch can literally talk about 40K forever.
I can get real in the weeds.
Yeah, and we'll never be done talking about it.
There's always another combo.
So just to talk schedule a little bit more, at 6 o'clock, which is after this stream slot, we'll have the Bad RTT final, which Mitch and I think will be Tyranids into Eldar, which would be, those are the best books. We're the best books at this time.
Yep, that works.
And then on stream 2, we're going to have the one and only Zach Nelson playing updated Thousand Sons into John Lennon, who's going to play Chaos Knights, I think. Okay.
Yes.
So
Thousand Sons are such a cool army design. Like the way they play, it's so satisfying to watch.
Yeah, I agree. And then on stream 3, we're going to have New Eldar into New Tau. And when I say New Tau, I mean worse Tau.
Worse Tau.
And when I say New Eldar, I mean worse Eldar.
Good.
Neither of those armies got better. Just so we're all clear.
I'm fine with this.
I think Noah said that his tournament list went up 350 points.
Oof.
Which is a few. That's some.
I love it.
The Hank,
not even 20%.
The Hank and Colin Eldar list. The Hank and Colin Eldar list went up like 150 points, but a lot of other changes are hidden in there. Hank believes that the fire prisms that we have built our success on are not good if you don't have to the last. That because they're now more expensive, that in situations where you don't need them, which totally happens, that you can't sit on 400 points. So he might be right. I've made an updated version of the Oathway list with the stuff we learned today, and basically what I did is I took my Hawks out because I think the Hawks are just awful now. Because you're not ever gonna, if you play Hail, you're not gonna have Ignore Cover, which they need. But I took the Hawks out, and I took the Fire Dragons out, and I took my Wave Serpent out, and I'm just gonna add a crap ton of Shining Spirits.
What do you think about the changes to Fire and Fade and Battle Focus strat?
Yeah, so Zach's asking about the Fire and Fade and Battle Focus changes. The Fire and Fade focus change does not matter. I Fire Fade like once out of every 10 games because you just don't need it because of Battle Focus. Fire and Fade is 2 CP. We don't have that, especially if you're playing Fire Prisms. We don't talk about Bruno. Like we're not gonna do. That's just never gonna happen. So I don't think that matters. Making it once a game would matter a lot if Dark Reapers were the way that they were for 10 years.
Sure.
But it doesn't. The Battle Focus change is weird because it is a nerf, but it's a nerf that kind of makes it more useful for Colin specifically. I haven't been using the 6-inch Battle Focus strat very much because I'm very conservative with my CP in my Eldar list. And I would rather try to roll and get enough inches to get them to safety. So the fact that it's oh crap, I've messed up, and not also I regularly roll the Battle Focus roll and then realize I wanted to use the 6-inch strat, which you can't use afterwards. So the fact that it's a reroll is actually kind of great. But it is strictly a nerf. It's obviously worse. Mm-hmm. I think that it's really the biggest deal for Shuriken bikes.
I think Hail is that a lot less than...
Yeah, because the Shuriken bikes have to come out and then shoot 24, and that 6 inches or 7 inches, in the case of Fire and Fade, to get back is really important. I think the most offensive things in the Eldar changes are, first of all, scatter bikes going up and not Shuriken bikes is offensive. Whoever you are out there that's been playing Shuriken bikes, die in a fire. Like that's
Halo Jim.
I'm sorry, not Shuriken bikes, scatter bikes. If you played scatter bikes into GW people and convinced them that they were good enough that they should be the same points as Shuriken bikes, that's ridiculous.
I can explain this.
Okay.
So back in the dark days of 7th, the Scat Pack was a thing. There were entire Eldar armies that were nothing but scatter laser bikes.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of them around.
Yes.
So I could see a scenario where you're seeing maybe metas where people are using them because that's how it's modeled, and aren't necessarily playing Hail, and they're still really annoying. Like they're not better, strictly not better, but like they are still like a lot of shots that can feel crazy if you're like, oh god.
But they went up a lot.
Oh, did they?
They went up like 50% of their points, from 20 to 30.
That might be a typo.
They're the same price as Shuriken bikes now.
They went from 22 to 30?
25 to 30?
Oh,
okay.
That's still 25% or 20%.
Yeah, that's a lot. So, and then the most offensive change, well, no. There's a few silly ones, but the avatar going up is silly. And
yeah,
then
I like seeing the avatar on the table. He's cool.
Yeah. And then, John, what were we just talking about that went up for Eldar that nobody plays with?
Autark.
Oh, yeah. Autarks are terrible. Autarks give out a reroll 1 Zora that you don't need in an army that has no ability to travel as a pack and give out auras.
Bro, I miss my Autark on a bike with a fusion gun and a banshee.
Yeah.
Can't even do it anymore.
No, you can't do that. You can't even
I
take
like
good
that.
war gear on the
I'm
Autarks.
glad.
Like, it's really hard to even make an Autark decent. And even if you wanted to, you're spending 2 CP, which you don't have, to give him a warlord trait and a relic. And GW looked at that and said, I think Autarks need to be 5 points more expensive. I think what happened is GW looked at the Eldar Codex and said, this is undercosted. Where's my salt and pepper shaker of 5s? And just shook it at it and said, there you go. Everything's roughly on 5 points.
I think they employ more of a dart-based system. But,
Okay.
you know.
The dart-based meta. That sounds great. Are we ready to hand off to commentators and get some games rolling?
Well, I have the objectives are set on both tables. I don't see models on the table yet.
Okay. Then let's buy them a bit more time, shall
Sure,
we?
we can do that.
Yes.
That's
we
what
have
these
to.
comfy
We
chairs are
have to
for.
ask Zach because we literally have no other way to know.
Unless there's a problem with this, I can't see and they're not refreshing, but I don't. They're still deployed.
Okay.
They're still.
Okay. So then tomorrow morning we will go into the GT, and the GT is now potted because we had to accommodate a bunch of drops. So what's happening is all 20 people that are playing are each in a pod. There's 2 4 pods and 2 6 pods, and they're going to play 3 rounds of 40k into each other. And we're going to put about 2/3 of those games on stream. So tomorrow morning you're going to get to see on stream starting at 6 o'clock Pacific in the morning. So if you're a UK person, that's more convenient for you. Or I guess East Coast, it's 9 a.m. That's not bad. Sean Naden's going to play his Orks into JT Steiger's Grey Knights. We're going to have Hank Adams play his Sam Hain Shining Spear list into Jesse Sell's Sisters. Jesse just won BAO not that long ago. And then Josh Schutz is going to play Forces of the Hive Mind into Mitchell Hunter's Custodes. That's our round 1 matchups for the GT on stream. We'll also have some games done on stream. John Lennon's going to do really awful things to a Mono Slanesh army. We're not going to put that on stream because like there's, we're trying to be family friendly. And so we don't want that level of abuse to be visible to the community.
And the crying is upsetting.
Yeah, and also when Paul loses models, he gets physically aroused. So like that's not good.
That's also upsetting. Again.
Yes, again, that's not good.
No, that's a good time.
Yeah, that's right. So the Slanesh, it's all about having a good time.
Yeah.
And then the second round, so it's pods A and B play, then pod C and D play. Pod C and D, it's going to be Anthony the Violence Vanilla into Josh Bagwell's Nids. Josh plays the most shooting Nids. He plays Kronos with triple Tyran effects and then every heavy venom cannon you could take.
Yep.
His list for new points basically just removed an Exocrine and called it good. So I think that'll be interesting. Violence is playing Blood Angels. They got better today for reasons.
Yeah.
Sandguard were too expensive.
Yeah,
literally.
they clearly need to be 3 points less than a non-tricked out Wolfguard Terminator.
Yeah, or 5 points.
You make these comparisons to Space Wolves like anybody knows what Space Wolf point values are.
33 points, everyone knows that.
No, they don't.
Definitely.
No, they don't.
My favorite part is Sandguard are the only unit that consistently appears in high placing marine lists. And when needs to get cheaper, that does.
What's the obvious best unit in all of Marines? Oh, it's Sanguinary Guard. Let's make it cheaper because Marines aren't doing well. Yeah.
They're going to be good.
Then on table 2, we're going to have Fred Fortman. And Fred is going to play Death Watch, and I have no idea what's in his list.
So that's normal, and that's probably the game I'm most excited for, because to see Fred with new rules, new points. He won the qualifying GT last year.
He did.
And he placed incredibly well going in to the actual GT as well. I think he got 4th.
Right.
So really great player from the Chicago area, and
Chicago.
And just with Deathwatch, he always comes up with a combo that is usually relevant as long as there is a Xenos codex that is, what's popular. And what do you know? Tyranids are still great, and they're still going to be here. He really, I'm curious to see if he's running the aggressors that have get an average of like 72 auto wounds.
Well, that does sound good.
That they just point at you and they go take those wounds.
Well, I hope he brought a lot of AP because and multi-damage weapons because he's playing Zach's Thousand Suns.
Not
so
yeah, those aggressors will do nothing.
They'll do some.
Oh, okay, I mean
you will roll ones.
They
Zach.
make me roll a lot of dice. That is
yes. So Zach has played a lot of Thousand Suns.
Yes.
Zach's not near the microphone, so I'll speak for him. Zach's played a lot of Thousand Suns. He took a break to take Nids to the tournament last weekend. Basically complained to me the whole time while winning. Like, just the whole time he's like, this is boring, I hate this is dumb. And he went 4-1 with that list while saying it was dumb. So no Nids for Zach.
Never again.
Some nights are wasted, as they say.
Yeah.
That's the song. All right. And then, Dream Table 3 is Alex McDougall's Tyranids into Michael Timpey's Chaos Knights. And Michael Timpey's method of list creation for his Chaos Knights is really innovative. He took a data sheet and photocopied it 13 times and made a list.
More or less.
Yeah, no, that's it. They have slightly different war gear, but he's got 13 war dogs, and they all have guns, and 3 of them have claws.
Yep.
And that's what he's doing.
An army after my own heart.
Right?
It's like, hey, what if all dreadnoughts but better?
Right? So for the people that are in pods of 6, I'll try to put winners into winners and losers into losers. But for the pods of 4, they're just going to play everybody. So after that, it'll be, we'll probably have John play Jesse, which will be neat. Because John is a famous Sisters player of much renown. And Jesse just won BAO with Sisters. So I presume that we will have an amazing quality Sisters mirror. I don't know how different their lists are at all. Neither does John. Is there anything significantly cool about your list I can tell them about, John?
Castigator.
There's a Castigator in it.
Does it have a name? Cassie?
I don't know what a Castigator is.
Tank?
Is it?
It's a predator with heavy bolt response.
Yeah.
And candles.
Yeah.
And candles.
Lots of candles.
Oh, they sent you. They sent you candles.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys
smell
that
like fear and
I have a special level of hatred for the burning candles on vehicles that Chaos and Sisters think are cool. I want that tank to come with acolyte models with little torches that are like keeping them lit that have to follow the tank around. It doesn't bother me as much as the Chaos guys that have it on their armor. And they're just like walking around with like
clearly electric candles.
And Wax just like slapping them in the face. Like,
don't kink shame.
No, I'm not. Like, maybe they enjoy that, but it looks dumb. As does all of the Sisters of Battle model line. So, no, I'm kidding. That's not fair at all. They definitely made a strong argument for Sisters of Battle to be wearing helmets. Is my only criticism of that product line.
The Castigator is, I think, one of the prettiest tanks in 40K.
Okay.
Like it's baroque, it's beautiful. It looks like it's both something for killing and something for worship. It's exactly what it should be.
I would clip the candles off of it.
Monster.
All right, let's hand off to Anthony and Alex. So we're gonna hand off to the commentators. And we still have Anthony and Alex is not who the commentators are. Adam Camilleri from Art of War Down Under is going to jump on here, and he's going to be joined by Best in Tabletop's very own Alex Taus, who does the 40K Frontiers podcast, where they cover metas from around the world that you can find on our podcast stream at Best in Tabletop, or you can find them on YouTube at, again, Best in Tabletop. So we'll hand off to those guys, and we will be back later to give more stuff away. Donate lots, and remember, the GT tomorrow is all new rules. Everything's new.
Everything's new. List, points, everything.
Pants, all of it.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Bye now.
Bye.
this, buddy, if I need to leave it with you.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this round 3 of the grandeur, the majesty of the greatest RTT of all time. And by greatest, we mean most entertaining. Because the meta is upside down. What is good is bad, and what is bad is good. How you doing? I'm joined by the wonderful Alex. Would you like to introduce yourself to people who may not know you?
Hey, yeah. So I'm Alex Taus from Frontiers, the Best in Tabletop Network show. So yeah, we've got 2 down under commentators for the upside down meta and the worst RTT.
Boy. Boy.
Yeah.
I'm starting to call it the best RTT because so much crazy crap has happened in this event that wouldn't happen anywhere else. That I'm just here for it. I love it. What's the matchup we've got for everybody?
On screen right now we have so Orks, created by Seth the Mad Doc. He has said Sean Naden, who's piloting them, is welcome for the wonderful list he's created somewhere in chat. Yeah, and then that's against I think it was Alex McDougall and Colin were making their bad Tyranids list because it's trying to like emulate the old double Gene Stealer Kraken list from the past. I assume it's still Kraken High Fleet. So
it is, yeah.
They have got the powerful elite Gene Stealers now, and a bunch of Termagants of some description, which are also bad apparently in the new book.
They are indeed.
And then potentially the biggest fall from grace with a dozen Hive Guard.
Boy.
With Impaler cannons, the no line of sight. I think they lost a third of their range, and now they require a Synapse creature to be like spotting for them. And the list has 1 Synapse creature in the Swarm Lord. Yes. So yeah, the big boss himself needs to go eyeball for what the Hive Guard are going to shoot 24 inches away.
It's pretty hilarious, these lists. He's up against, the iron wall of Sean's list, which is literally what you see is what you get. With the exception of a couple of models that may confuse people. So there is a Mecha Dread, which is essentially the Mauler Fiend to the right of screen. Then I believe he has some Grot tanks in the back, which I think are just represented by what looks to me like Grot tanks. They look like Grot tanks to me. The only thing that's on a small base, on a smaller than like a freaking Knight base, essentially for Sean's army. Then he's got 2 Gorkanauts, a Morkanaut with KFF, and 3 Def Dreads and a Mecha Dread with double Ripper Cannon. So he's actually got a pretty spicy list for what it is, at least.
Yeah, when I think it was the pre-show. It's one of the things of content that were put out. People were saying that maybe this Orc list could actually give some people problems because when people are writing bad lists, they don't always put in a whole bunch of anti-tank. Mm-hmm. So when you're only tank, you might have an advantage that way. But I believe it was judged the worst list because it only has 10 models or something like that, and none of them are obsec, none of them count as multiple. So they may struggle with the primary.
They could just lose the primary, just straight up lose the primary. It is killy, but it's not like that killy by like current standards. I mean, point for point, I think a Def Dread's still pretty respectable. It's got a bunch of extra attacks and whatnot, but like it doesn't hold the candle to what Sangard, Repentia, Raveners and stuff of their ilk produce these days. But look, the shooting is very ordinary as well for how many points you're paying per model, but it's not nothing. Like we saw, Sean was able to kill like 1 thing a turn of his opponents with everything combined.
And I think Sean was saying that he was doing that by getting close because he was playing into Alpha Legion, who are -1 to hit outside of 12, I think still, which halves Orc ballistic skill effectively. Mm-hmm. This list he's going up against in the Tyranids has a Melanthrope, I think that's the one.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah. Which gives a -1 to hit aura. So
so the shooting is going to be even worse in this matchup than it was in the previous one, and it wasn't all that flash in the last one either. So I think this is a matchup that sits pretty firmly with the Nids, but Sean is Sean, and I think he's going to win. Just put it out there, putting the good mojo out there.
Okay, well, I'll be contrary and say that I don't think that'll happen because we're on tide of conviction, something like that. So it's a hold 2, hold 3.
It's a hold 2, exactly.
You
right.
have one very safe objective. I feel like the Tyranids may just yoink the middle 2 from the Orks and hand them a 0 for primary.
In all honesty, Sean should get like great secondary scores and bugger all primary score. He could end this game with like less than 20 primary, and fair enough. KR Quinn, they collected that army from random Orc players. Interesting paint jobs. So Seth Oster was supposed to be here playing this list, and he had naturally he submitted this. He had all the models. Unfortunately, Seth was no longer able to contend for reasons out of his own. He'll tell you if he wants to. And due to that, these guys had to scramble because the lists were already locked in and submitted. So they did what they could to get the models together. Same can be said for not being able to get the 30 rattlings together because another player was unable to attend, so they used skinks from Warhammer Fantasy and Age of Sigmar. So we're just doing what we can. There's been a couple of people who had to drop, unfortunately, and that's made the model choices have to be whatever we can get. Mind you, like if anything's going to be co-opted for an Orc unit, it's like a Maul of Fiends pretty well up there.
Yeah, they'll just see like, man, that's got like a bunch of spiky, a bunch of crumpin bits going on, and they'll have that.
The mech's eyes light up, and they're like, "This is is it my birthday? Like, this is the best."
Yeah. So it looks like bugs are moving first in the mission, which might actually be, if he can live, a really good thing for Sean's primary score, because this is the mission, right, where you get like 17 or more, no, more than that, 20 something points primary swing if you go second and can live.
Yeah, it really gets extra reward for the player going second, which I guess is good for Sean. But what it is also allowing is the Tyranids to set up pretty well, and also get into range turn 1 with all their Hive Guard. Like the fact that they can't shoot out a line of sight without the synapse, I don't believe is going to be an issue at all. They're going to have a target-rich environment.
Yeah, no, they have moved up. There is a Melanthrope right between the 2 squads of Hive Guard, so they're just sitting there saying, "Come at me. We will conquer. If we're on Planet Bowling Ball, we'll conquer it. We don't need to hide behind walls."
Yeah, we don't need no one. For those who may be joining us for the first time, or may just be checking in or don't know what's up, this is Charity Hammer the 4th, as in this is the 4th time it's been run, and it is run in support of a charity called Child's Play, primarily. Child's Play is a charity that provides gaming aids, entertainment needs for children whilst they undergo medical care. It is a cause very close to many hearts in our community, not only just because we're a bunch of nerds and we love the books and the games and all the things that we want kids to have where they're going through troubling times. So for every $30 you donate to this charity, donate to Charity Hammer, you will get a raffle ticket in the draw for some phenomenal prizes. We had a full Beast Snagger box. The Beast Snagger box set is the one that came out with all the Beast Snagger stuff. So like a good half an army for Orcs. Just buy a few more bits and pieces and you're good for 2,000 points. We have a $1,200 voucher to Hammerhead Games that you can spend on just like anything. You play Magic, D&D, of course, Warhammer, or related products, Outward Realms, all that awesome stuff, Hammerhead Games. And in addition, the wonderful Sean Naden, who's playing the Orcs right now, has donated a fully pro-painted commission army. So Sean will literally paint you an army should you win that raffle prize. So for every $30 you donate, in addition, if you donate money and put a message or type a message and say, "Hey, I donated," and you want something for us to read out, myself or Alex, put it in quotation marks, tell us what you want us to say. If it's not crude, insulting, or derogatory, we'll probably say it.
Yeah, sounds good. And also just a bit more on Child's Play. So they also do, I believe, domestic abuse shelters as another part of what they do. And they are based or several countries. I know for sure that they're in Australia and the US where they're based. I think also the UK, Canada, possibly some other places, but I'm blanking on that right now. So yeah, they are not exclusively in North America.
Yeah, they are an international charity, and they're very highly rated on the I don't know what the charity rating system's called, but they're one of the very highly regarded ones. Every single cent that you donate to Charity Hammer will go straight to the charity. Not one penny will be diverted for any other means. So you can have some confidence that your dollars are going exactly where they're meant to go. This turn 1 looks very similar to the turn 1 we saw previously by the Tyranids. The only thing I'm not sure about is the second unit of Gene Stealers. I wonder if he should have held that one back and tempoed them a little bit more. One of them going in turn 1 feels good. Row blocking, maybe getting a kill makes a lot of sense. The other one going up as well, is that just giving Sean too many things to kill too early?
Yeah, I'm not sure which one you're talking about going up, but the one on the left I did not see before, and they are very up in Sean's grill space.
Yeah, it's the one on the right I'm not sure about, whether that's just giving him something to kill.
I believe those were like pre-game forward deployed, if that's a thing they can do. So maybe it's just I'm not quite sure why they're just sort of towing on the objective though, because I don't think it gains them anything.
No, I don't think that gains them anything at all.
They might be putting up a banner.
Oh yeah,
maybe he's banking on the fact that the Orks won't remove all 10 of those Gene Stealers, and he's going to be able to leave that banner on there with OBSEC, and he's just going to score like a 20 with them.
Well, unfortunately, he hasn't taken banners. Otherwise, that would have made a lot of sense. But Sean has taken. Sorry, Matt has taken banners.
Yeah. Matt's got the banners. That was what I was thinking. I don't think Sean would make the sort of mistake of taking raise the banners with a all mech army.
Well, so he's got Buzzgob. He's got one mech. He can put up a banner. You know,
I apologize profusely. Yeah, I best be respecting mech Buzzgob.
Love it. Yeah. What have they chosen for secondaries? What are the two in his secondaries? Give us the rest of the rundown.
Right, yeah. So, unsurprisingly, against an all-mech army, he has opted for Bring It Down.
Who would have thought?
So, yeah, seems
stunning.
Sensible. Also gone for Stranglehold into an all-mech, no OBSEC, no multi-model counts as army. So, another, pretty reasonable choice. And, yeah, raise the banners high, as we discussed. I guess because...
So, like, zero OBSEC, right? The OBSEC battle is so firmly in Matt's favor. Like...
Yeah, like he's got 60 odd gaunts that are -1 to hit. I don't know how many of the orc things have sweep profiles. I'm not super familiar with that. But like
just the big boys, I believe.
Right. So they may struggle to like get through to clear all that. So the banners feels like a pretty solid pick. I actually wonder if he's got Hive Guard putting up banners turn 1, or if he couldn't shoot with some of them.
Well, it definitely looks like some shooting has happened already. If you look at the Gorkanaut to the right of center, that one's got a couple of dials on it already. And I think we're already into Sean's turn 1. He is measuring movements. So does that mean the charge from the Gene Stealers, he didn't charge? I think
I don't know.
I think that means he didn't charge. I think he just put them up as a roadblock.
I think he chose not to do that. Maybe he worked out that he could stop a base fitting through there with where he positioned. Or,
absolutely did. Absolutely can.
Because I think I would have thought they would have the movement with where they deployed to like fully close off that lane as well, like the left-hand more orangey squad. Yeah,
both lanes. I think one squad could have done both lanes because you only need to reach the middle point of both those openings to bottleneck them from the bigger bases at a minimum, and if not, at least you're restricting movement. Where I'd love to see the Nids focus all their pressure is to the right middle objective. Don't worry about the left one, not so much. If anything, like line up your Hive Guard to shoot whichever Gribbly gets on that one, and then the right middle one is where all your pressure goes, all your OBSEC. I wonder if he knew that Gorkanauts are super heavies now and they can walk over models, because that's what's just happened with those Gene Stealers.
Yeah, I certainly did not. I was surprised to see that lad just like mosey on over the top of them Stealers. Can he make as he within 12 of the Hive Guard, I wonder? Is there a ramming speed charge coming in? I would love to see a ramming speed charge coming in.
I'd be right here for it. That'd be so cool. I love it.
I would be very about that.
Sounds like he didn't know they were super heavies and could just step on over. Just a casual step. You seen those legs? Those legs ain't stepping over shit. But in this context, they go straight over apparently.
They just believe it is a Gork or Morkanaut. They are believing
It phases out. Yeah, it phases out. It doesn't step over. It just goes into the warp for a moment. Oh, it's so much cooler. Can we make that canon?
Somebody. It is. Just we believe it, Adam, and therefore it's canon. That's how Orks work, right?
Yeah, that's right. We believe it's canon, therefore it is canon. Someone mythically will just write a story where a Gorkanaut phases through opposition models. Rather than actually stepping over it because his legs ain't good.
Look, if it works for Chaos Knights, right? Like, surely.
Yeah, House Corvus can. Yeah, the new Chaos House, which I love the fluff of the new Chaos House. By the way, I think that's cool.
Yeah, it was like Be'lakor just decides, right? Yeah, no, I'm stealing this planet now, right?
Yeah, mine. Yeah, he's a bit of a magpie like that, isn't he?
Yeah, he just yelled yoink and it became his.
He said dibs. He said just said dibs, and everyone's like, oh well, I guess it's his. It's schoolyard rules of chaos and ownership.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so one reason the Tyranids would have gone and towed onto those objectives as well is it scores them some primary points. So he's got 2 on the primaries there. But actually, I think you only need to do 1 of them. So no, again, I'm not sure why both the Gene Stealers did exactly what they did. But
I feel like the Gene Stealers are actually quietly good in this matchup. Like they do have the amount of attacks to threaten one of the mid-sized walkers at the kind of drop of a hat. And losing both of them turn 1, which is what I expect to have happen now, it actually seems like a bit of a loss. But maybe I'm incorrect and they're not vital to this game plan for Matt.
Yeah, it could be that we're misjudging distance as well. I can't remember what a Gene Stealer moves these days. 8 still, I think, maybe?
I think they move 9 now.
Okay. So I wonder if maybe they just like really low rolled their advance or something and then couldn't fully block the gap, so they decided to only tow on.
Yeah. They move 8. Apologies, you are correct.
Aha.
Yeah. And yeah, they can vanguard and do all the infiltrating crazy crap. One thing, actually, sorry, we should check. Have we got the second table up? Can we hit a transition over to table 2 if we got one available? Old booth man, the Dorian Gray of this setup.
A wonderful stream machine spirit or something.
If not, that's totally fine. Thank you, everybody who's joining us in chat. Just some, these lists are not in BCP. I think we have a link on the Charity Hammer website. If not, I'll get Colin to jump in the chat when he is available and just chuck all the lists in. We do have a link for it, but I think I've lost it because I closed it for some inane reason. Apologies for that, by the way. But honestly, for these lists, what you see is what you get. There's not really any tech or anything to emulate or copy here, KR Quinn. It's literally this is the meme round. So we have one more round after this, which will be the finalists, because we've got the semi-finals happening before our eyes, and then it'll be into the slobber knocker slaughterfest of top table goodness come tomorrow morning.
But yeah, I guess to quickly go through it, the Tyranids list is Swarmlord, Malanthrope, 12 Hive Guard. There are 60 gaunts of some description. They might be Devour gaunts.
They're all Devour gaunts.
Yeah, those are in the sin bin for past crimes. 2 lots of 10 Gene Stealers, 6 Sky Slashers, and 2 units of 3. And I think that is the whole list.
To do the 2 units of 6 Hive Guard? Yep, that is
at least in my head. I did.
That is the whole list. It's not much. It is literally taken as a meme because it is the 8th edition version of the best Tyranids list. So it has the Kraken Stealers with the Swarm Lord and the Hive Guard. It's just so funny, and the Devour Gaunts. I do love that he's held his Devour Gaunts in reserve. Like they are the furthest things at the back of the board for Matt, and he's willing to try and get the Orks to break upon every other portion of his army. And if you'll see the sneaky Swarm Lord on the left-hand side of the table, just hanging out there, waiting for him to put something of value on the middle left-hand objective for the Orks and just go and annihilate it.
And just as you say that, Sean measures to the Swarm Lord. So I think crouching target hidden Swarm Lord is not an effective strategy. Even with the orange and grey carapace camouflaging with the lava table, it's not doing it.
They're not doing it for him. Nah, not going to fly. He's a little bit too large, even if the model is pretty small by today's standards. Should they bring out a new Swarm Lord model? Because he is tiny.
Isn't the Hive Tyrant kit one of the comparatively newer bugs things? I'm probably
yeah,
getting yelled at by my Tyrannid buddy.
By bug standards, yes. Literally their last they had the Maliceptor and the Toxicrene and the Exocrine and the Hari specs came out like 5 or 6 years ago?
No, I'm pretty confident it's more than that. Because
it might be more than that. I've completely lost track of time.
Yeah, I don't. I know a friend was saying that they had like ingrained in their head the time since it's come out. I don't know if anyone's seen the new Thor trailer, but it's like at the how long's it been? It knows to the day almost.
Yeah, the years keep coming and they don't stop coming.
Yeah,
it's really true.
Yeah.
So the Sam Lemon in the chat has asked if the balanced data slate stuff is applicable for the worst list RTT. It is not. These lists had to have been submitted and approved by a council of rigorous testers who just looked at it and were like, yes or no. And that had to have occurred quite a while beforehand. So to make sure all the lists were kind of of a certain dumbness. So these were all locked in, but the GT Slobber Knocker that starts tomorrow is like the lists haven't even been written. They're like writing the list for that tonight once they get to sit down after their games and figure out what they want to play. So that's going to be like literal cutting edge, amazing stuff. Some of the best players in the world locked in for like 72 hours of games following today after the silliness is over. The palate cleanser, the amuse-bouche. And you will get some absolute savagery, incredible insights into the new play styles, new meta coming up.
As opposed to the different flavor of savagery that is suffering with these terrible lists. Which, yeah. I believe as well that if we were playing with a new GT pack, I think there'd be some lists on negative CP. Like there's 3 super heavies in this Orc list, right? And I assume there's a relic and or Waller trait in there. That would put them to negative CP in the new pack. So another
absolute zeros. Harpy/Hive Crone is relatively new. Oh yeah, sorry, yes, that is actually relatively new. I feel like that came out in 6th edition. Because I remember no, it might have been 7th edition. I remember they got a formation in 6th or 7th edition that went along with the Harpy and the Hive Crone. It was the we used to call it the Flying Circus because it had like 3 Flyerants, a couple of Harpies, a couple of Hive Crones, and then all Gargoyles and flying. Used to be able to make flying warriors, the Shrikes.
Yeah.
How long you been in the game, mate?
I got started half my life ago with I came out just at the end of the Battle for Macragge box set, so we have some Devour-Gaunts going away. So I came out with that, split it with my brother. So I badly painted some Ultramarines, and went along with that for a bit. Did the usual, took a break. So and I've come back for around late 7th, and since 8th been going hard.
Nice, dude. Fantastic. Yeah. Welcome back. How old are you?
I 24. Yeah. At the point where I'm starting to not remember exactly age.
You're a sapling. And
yeah.
I am 10 years your senior, my dude.
That's all right. You're all the wiser for it, I'm sure.
I don't know about that. We'll see. Looks like so Sean has done an interesting thing. He has looked into the future and decided he needs to start work on the Gaunts now. His melee presence should be enough to account for the Gene Stealers, so he doesn't need to shoot them. His shooting is better spent getting rid of as much OBSEC as it can as early as possible, because that's what's going to lose in the game.
Yeah, that's pretty fair, although I wonder if it's because they weren't -1 to hit is why they were shooting those Gaunts. I feel like because the Hive Guard might be the other targets, which are within Melanthrope range, or they're just checking now. It looks like what is or is not within that range.
Yeah.
So I think he probably just opted to take double the output by shooting the things that weren't -1 to hit.
You're absolutely correct. That right-hand unit is definitely not within Melanthrope range. They were just checking to see if the Sky Slashes were just then also. So yeah, definitely it's his best value damage output. Interesting. Yeah. Was that a mistake by Matt? You think he just forgot about the range?
Oh, maybe it could have been. It could be. I think those rocks are sticking up at the table a lot more than it looks like from this top-down camera angle. So maybe it's a bit awkward to measure or see or something. Or there are a bunch of reasons potentially. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's that big of an issue. Actually, I suppose Sky Slashes against Orcs, so I don't believe can heroic intervene with vehicles. 3 Sky Slashes is a pretty powerful objective stealing tool, really.
It is, yeah. When all your stuff only counts as 1, and they are just 3 little dung beetles, and they just were like, not mine. That is a real big pain in the ass. A huge amount of gaunts getting picked up here.
Yeah,
3/4 of the unit looks like it's gone.
I wonder. I think they are going to have potentially a few more going to morale later because Synapse and Fearlessness from memory has changed with bugs.
Yes, it's literally the Malanthrope and the Swarmlord are the only Synapse on the entire table, so they absolutely will be in trouble morale-wise.
And they appear to be a fair ways away from that.
Huge way away.
Yeah.
That interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, Orc shooting, no joke. Sometimes the casino cannons go hard.
Yeah, haven't they got, is it 20 shots apiece or 30 shots apiece when they're in Dakar range? That middle right Gorkanaut might have been in Dakar range and therefore just got 30 shots and just dunked.
Yeah. Yeah, that would account for the 25-ish gaunts that have evaporated, and at least 1 Sky Slasher Swarm has as well.
Yeah, 1 to 2 of the Sky Slashers also gone. This is actually a huge problem. Like he's bleeding units now at an alarming rate. And he once again we see Sean go second. And in his turn 1, his opponent's turn 1 did not lose a unit, and now he is picking up stuff wholesale. So it may have been correct in that this list was a little bit too toughness intensive for the amount of anti-tank on the other lists.
Yeah, I mean, as Curie pointed out in the YouTube chat, there's a 20-point primary swing for going second on this because you get 12 for hold more, and then 2 for holding each of the sort of midfield opponent objectives, 4 for the back one.
Yep.
And at this rate, I think the green metal tide or something is gonna. It might crash through.
Yeah, we need a name for this list, by the way. It can't be the meat wall that we had previously. No. Unfortunately, we need to pour one out for the meat wall. Didn't make it, but we need a name for this Seth Oster list. We do have the Kraken Stealer OG list being piloted by Matt, of course. That already has a name, already has an identity. But we could see a legend being born here, and it needs to have a meme to wrap around.
Yeah.
Open to suggestions is what I'm saying.
Blanking. Were any of the chats helping us out?
This is the chats. This is the chats problem. This is them to solve.
All right. I'm on board with this.
Adam C and Alex. Now, what do you think of the collection? Is actually the worst list in the RTT? I'm pretty sure the worst list was the guard list.
Can I just vote for Sam's grammar being the worst list in there? Because I tried to read that sentence and.
Good. You said grammar. Holy shit! I thought you said grandma, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh no! Look. Sam Lemon is a fantastic human being. I have the fortune to be on a show with him. He doesn't know how to not be nice, but I couldn't read that sentence. I'm sorry, my guy.
Popeyes. We've got Popeyes from Deathwatch 208. Green stuff in cans. There you go. That's actually not a bad call.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one. What else we got? Dorkanaut. I don't mind that. It is kind of a can wall, but there is no killer cans in it. So it might be a death wall. Because it's got death dreads. I don't know. Dread wall? The real dread wall? Like it's not the Renegade Knights, it's the death dread wall.
Don't talk to me or my sons ever again.
Holy shit, it is actually. Like it's got the three biggins.
You need the killer cans so it can have like the Russian dolls of like the descending size.
Yeah, it does. It's
got a grot tank instead because I think that was Seth putting that in because he loves his grot tanks.
It does.
Yeah. I have played against Seth on TTS with his 2 grot kill tanks.
It could just be called Modern Family. It's just a beautiful blended family of orc loveliness.
Is that Swarmlord taking damage to go back to actually doing a job and commentating games here?
It's overrated. But you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
That Swarmlord looks like it's got 8 wounds remaining.
Yep.
Man, the firepower just keeps coming. Like, didn't feel like he had half this Daka in the previous game. And this game, he has... Well, the Sky Slashers are gone. The Devourer Gaunts on the right, bottom right-hand corner are essentially annihilated. And now the Swarmlord's taking damage too. This is impressive.
Yeah, I was told Orks don't shoot good. So
Me too.
this is a... Yeah, my information was wrong. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, so he's just... But see, the thing is, everything he's shot at right now is... You were spot on, was all the things outside the Maleceptor range. So the Sky Slashers, the Devil Gaunts, and the Swarmlord, none of these were -1 to hit. Jeez, God forbid. Like, he's going to be starting his turn, the Tyranid player, down 4 units and has not killed any of the Orc units.
Oh, I'm still on board for team ramming speed. I am hoping that Gorkanaut charges into the Hive Guard.
Oh, what did this? That's go. Oh,
I am going to go bring up the mission pack and try and eyeball it from the objective placings. I'm on it.
Yeah, do it, man. Show your quality.
Yeah, we're onto it.
Death Dread Dance Party, the triple DP. I don't mind it.
Death Dread Dance Party. That does seem on brand because that would match with those. Okay, so the center of those objectives are 12 inches apart. That Gorkanaut is overlapping. He is past the center of his objectives. Those Hive Guard seem pretty close to the center of the other objective. Yeah. They are getting ramming speeded. That's real good grammar.
That means it's a 9 to a 10, right? Depending on a few increments, or it could be a 9 to 11 somewhere in there.
Yeah. And so he's got 3d6. Ramming speed still 3d6. Drop none. It's just it is. I'm gonna go crump that thing over there. Still
with here we go for a reroll.
Yeah. No, I'm on board team ramming speed.
Do it. It'd be almost game over if that happens.
Yeah.
Mind you, even if he doesn't go for that, he charges the ass of the Gorkanaut into the Gene Stealers, picks it up with the Death Dread and the other the Morkanaut in front of him, and then he's on their doorstep because he's going to pile in and consolidate 6 inches towards him.
Like, you're right, Adam.
That's the reasonable thing to do.
Okay,
it's nowhere near as fun. No. I wonder how familiar Sean is with the book and whether he's aware.
Sean is a pointy ear expert, and so these cans have pointy ears inside of them. They are green, and they're fun guys, but they are pointy ears nonetheless. So he knows what's up. And if he knows what's up, he knows that he's got to go for that charge, surely. Yeah.
Nothing brings me more joy than imagining like elegant, sophisticated races like Eldar getting dunked on by a sentient fungus. Like, sorry, a barely sentient fungus. Like, barely. Like, it's so much.
They believe they're sentient. All right.
Yeah, they get sent to Slanesh because an angry fungus kicked the crap out of him. Like, it's so good.
Isn't there some saying that like the Eldar respect Space Marines for the same reason a human would respect a gorilla in full plate armor? Like,
yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, and so when it's like a sentient mushroom and I don't know 40k scale, but it's quite an imposing mech suit, possibly with their brain hardwired into it. I think they'd be, a bit intimidated by that as well.
Yeah, a brain with air quotes with like rabbit ears on it.
Yeah,
man, Orcs are just the best. Orcs are simply just the best.
They are my go-to for like who are the good guys in 40k because they're about it. They're having a good time. Like
they're pure of spirit and of intention. There's no malice. They just do what they enjoy doing.
They love
absolutely right. Yeah,
and so they're just trying to share that with anyone and everyone they can.
I feel like the Tyranids are pretty good guys as well. They just do what they do. They're just organisms doing what they're programmed to do. There's no evil intent there, or there's no conscious. Should we commit genocide? It's just like that's what they're supposed to do.
I think I might have seen a snake eye charge rolled there, just off to the side. I think I see 3 dice. That looks like it's a 10 total. Are we going to ram? Oh no, it's saving throws or something. The Orcs are still shooting.
They are still shooting. That was another Sky Slasher from the middle left-hand objective getting picked up.
Yeah.
And looks like the Swarm Lord's on 4 wounds left.
Yep, that is a 4 sitting there.
This is intense. That could also be his CP though. Just now that I think about it, because I don't see any other dice to signify CP.
Do we have a CP counter on these on the wonderful display here? We don't.
We do not.
It's charge phase. It's charging time.
It's
on, ramming speed.
You want to see it? You'd love to see it.
Yeah, we have set. Are both of these Hive Guard squads going to get tagged?
It's very likely that both could get tagged. I don't know how likely the left-hand one is, but the Gorkanaut got a big enough charge there that as long as it doesn't swing, it will absolutely tag the other unit.
That left-hand one is ramming speeding.
You're so
in my heart.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
That's what I'm here for now.
Doubt in your mind. The Death Dreads have made combat. Well, one has made combat with the right-hand unit of Gene Stealers, and then we should see the Mega Dread coming around the corner to try and make that charge as well.
Yeah,
Mega Dreads are actually sick. Have you seen the models? They're so cool.
Yeah. I've had a local guy I believe he has a Mega Dread or a third party. I'm pretty sure he used it as a Mega Dread. It looks pretty cool. I remember it charged something of mine. I think. Yeah, I have Vates, but it came in a teleporter and at ramming speed. It made its charge. It was all about it. And then I think it didn't kill the thing and had a bad time on return. But let's not worry about that too much.
Yeah, let's not worry about that too much. So he's made all his charges. He
hasn't yet. We haven't seen the ramming speed charge. That might have been it there, actually. We just had a Gene Stealer get pulled, which could have been from the charge. We should probably watch the dice rolls, but where's the fun in that? He's measuring it. He's measuring. That looked like.
It looks like a 10 to me.
It might have been a 9.
Yeah, it's hard to see which side of it it's on.
A 10 on 3 dice. He's got this with the reroll.
Do it. I mean, I kind of don't want him to do it because it will ice the game. Like at the bottom of turn 1, the game's just kind of over. But it's still freaking cool. Do it, man. Do it. Just do it. Just send it. Give us the
No, Sean.
He didn't do it. And the crowd goes mild. Woo.
Yeah. he is lining up to tag the Hive Guard, but Sean, you made the sensible play, but it is not the Orky play.
He's still too much of an Eldar head on.
I'm a little bit disappointed. Has he just entirely abandoned his back objective though? I would respect that. I think that might mean you don't get your CP, which would be a very powerful move.
It would be such a flex.
Let's go see if I can read rules.
They literally don't. The CP. What does the CP do for this army? Like, apart from rerolling saves and ramming speed, what other strats are even available?
I was going to say, we've been over this, Adam. It's for ramming speed.
I don't know. We had a meeting. We had everything. There was a PowerPoint presentation.
Look, I have played the creator of this list, Seth Oster, in TTS, and he usually, or at least some of the times, was of the opinion that CP for Orks is for upgrading your characters and buying detachments to get more war bosses pre-game. So I think that means they don't have good things to spend CP on.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. All right.
So will there be a WAR on stream? Unfortunately, there will not be, for the simple reason that there is no ability to call a WAR in this Ork army. There's no war boss. It was written to be bad for that reason in particular. Yeah. So
Adam, you best not be calling my guy Buzzgob, your boy, bad.
He is a mad lad. He's an absolute mad lad, and I respect the hustle. Who needs a WAR when you can have just this much chunky meat on the bone?
Yeah.
Got to careen some nerds. Yeah, the careen is good. The careen is a good. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So that's instead of exploding, or when you explode, you can move the model like a number of inches before you.
I think it's when you explode, you get to like move where the explosion happens.
Yeah, no, you get to drive the explosion in a certain direction, a couple of inches, which is funny as hell.
Careen has had so many great versions of the rule over the years. I remember when I started, it was just like you rolled a scatter die and it went that way. Yep. Back when that happened, you had like an argument with your opponent to the good old days that G-Dub is bringing back with the heresy. edition.
Never
right?
left. Never left for us cultured hobbyists.
Oh, are you a?
I am a Horus Heresy player. Yeah.
All right. I apologize profusely.
No, don't. I know what I am, and I know what I know the level of recalcitrant grognard I have in my game system. It's totally fine.
Yeah. Adam, your years are showing.
Absolutely, they are. Horus Heresy is sick, by the way. Like there is a lot wrong with that rule system, but there's also a lot right with it. Like there is a lot of fun to be had still.
Oh yeah, I came when I came back to the game in the tail end of 7th. I really enjoyed the deep strike charges, on a unit that had it, and how it's like you're safer to land right next to the unit because of how the scatter mechanic works.
Mm-hmm. Because if you scatter, you're likely to scatter a minimum of like 3-4 inches on the dice, and so if you're right next to them, you're more likely to jump them than you are to if you were to be like 6 inches away. You might just go straight on top of them.
Yeah. So just quickly back to the actual game. It looks like Sean's not making a play to tag the Hive Guard. He is just gonna.
Well, so I think he overestimated his ability to kill them. They've got invulns. They've got good invulns, guys.
Yeah.
On them, and you don't have a bucket of attacks to kill them. Like each one of the Death Dreads can have, I think, 6-7 attacks. So hitting on 3s, winning on 2s into a good invuln, like you don't just pick up 10 guys.
I think the Gork and/or Morkanaut, which was what he's just swung with, is the bucket of attacks that's meant to deal with them. It is
exactly right, and he wants to fight with that one last. Therefore, it gets a bit awkward.
Yeah, or maybe he's just fought with it now because he doesn't want it to avoid being able to swing. Regardless,
he rolled really well there. I think he just picked them all. Yeah, he just picked them all. Two left. Yeah. He rolled really well in his saves then, by the way. I just looked at that dice roll and it was freaking savage.
Do Gene Stealers have a 4-up invul?
I believe they still have a 4-up invulnerable save. Hence why it gets swingy.
Well, they were a 5-up in the previous book. I have my local Tyranids Menace. He was a prolific roller of 5-ups because when you've got that into Catalyst, so 5-ups into 5-ups, those Gene Stealers were tough to shift when he was rolling them hot.
So they have a 5+ against range, 4+ in combat.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. Hence, it's actually swingy with such medium quantity, high damage attacks. You can just bounce them. It just happens.
Yeah, but man, each failed save is one very dead 1-wound Gene Stealer.
Smoosh, smoosh. I would love to see, because where is it? It's Octarius where the big Orc versus Tyranid battle is ongoing. I'd love to see somebody hobby up an army, like an Orc army on Octarius. They're just like Ichor covered in just wearing like they did in Armageddon, where all the Death Skull commandos started taking on like guard traits, started wearing guard armor and stuff, thinking they were going to camouflage in and just everyone will just see them as guardsmen. I'd like to see a bunch of Orcs done like that with Nids, like they're wearing like Nid warrior heads and stuff like that on top of their heads, thinking they're just going to blend in, gain the strength of the fallen enemy and shit. It would be cool.
Would that be Hive Fleet Warg, Hive Fleet Gork, and or Mork?
Yeah. That's good. It'd be the Gork Lord instead of the Swarm Lord. Mork Lord.
Yeah.
Oh man, how good's
Lork? I think I'm stretching here.
Yeah, it was fine. It was already fine.
Tell me how good is what, Adam?
How good is what?
How good is what? Not very good on this list. Old mate Buzzgob is he's good at fixing, not at yelling.
Yeah. What are your primary armies, brother?
My primary army. Custodes and Knights at the moment, basically. Because I mean, as you'll know from being down under, the hobby can cost a bunch here. And we went for low model count and put magnets and things to as much save painting time as as money in some ways. But yeah.
You when you said one of your mates has got a Mega Dread or a Mecha Dread, I'm like, has he already? That means he already owns a car, right? Because he could have one or the other.
You say that. I think he owns a car. Unfortunately, yeah, I was at the club one day playing a game, and he goes out to have his car not there. That was unfortunate.
Holy crap! He's got his car nicked.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all right. Our community is great, and I was hanging around making sure he didn't need a lift. And there were some others there that drove them to their place and lent him a spare car. So it was all set. And I think he's probably had insurance sorted at this point.
Is Sam throwing shade at us? Flavor of the month, Adam. Flavor of the month.
Sam's probably throwing shade at me. It's fine. Look, he is experienced in the way of bandwagoning. Okay, so he.
It's got nothing.
Yeah.
Can't say shit. Orks are best. Orks are best. They always win. So looks like we're coming into the end of the turn, and not all the Gene Stealers are dead, which is a surprise bucket. But a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't think was going to die is dead. Like the Gaunts in the bottom right, gone. Sky Slashes in the middle, gone.
I wonder, is he going to be hugging any of those Gene Stealers? Are they? They don't look very tri-pointed, which I thought he might have done, because that would be true. That would be quite rude, wouldn't it? Just like tri-pointing. Or is he going to activate that Gorkanaut? No, he's pointing, because that or whatever the unit is at the top left. If that had gone and closed in, that top left unit of Gene Stealers, so they were just getting hugged there, that could have been
close the door. Yeah, close the door on them, and then that's horrible. Mind you, there is kind of this level of because everything's exposed, everything needs to be wrapped. Otherwise, there's always going to be. He only needs he has 2 units of Hive Guard, so it only needs 2 units to not be stuck in tri-points for him to have as much efficacy as he was always going to have in the next turn. Because he only got 2 good shooting units, so therefore he only needs 2 things to shoot. So you need to get execute tri-points with everything in his army, which is probably not going to happen. But mind you, if it was just the 2 Gorkanauts, this game is pretty much sorted. Mind you, do you think the Swarm Lord can go and pull down that Gorkanaut next turn?
Let's just go with yes.
I want to believe. Yeah. For the sake of the stream.
The tri-point might be coming in right now. I think he's executing. Or I wonder if he's going to finish him off. No, because if he was outside of combat, he needs to pile backwards. He can pile, stay outside of an inch, not attack them, then go in again. Or he's getting a small number of dice. Maybe he's going to. Yeah, it looks like he's going to. Maybe he's trying to finish him off.
You said a small amount of dice. I see 18.
Listen, Adam, I saw a small number of dice. Yeah. It's fine. My brother works at a Specsavers. I'll go see him later and get my eyes checked.
Yeah, he did. He smashed him. And then he piled onto the objective. Because now it's 2 for 2. There's 2 Sky Slashes. Now there's a Morkanaut and a Gorkanaut. So therefore, he's just trying to stop the 12, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, I'm with you. Because, yep.
Yeah, so now it's stabilized. So his opponent's going to get I'm not even sure his opponent gets an 8. I think his opponent gets a 4. Because I don't see any Tyranid models on the middle right-hand objective on the Nid side of the table.
Yes, yeah. I think it will be a 4. Because on the screen, the top left objective has 2 Sky Slashes, 2 large Orc units.
Yep.
I think Sam and chat is saying they believe it's a kill rig. I don't think so. I think that's Chuck's wonderfully converted kill rig model, counting as an Orkanaut of some sort.
Yeah, it's a Morkanaut. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's on the night base, and there were meant to be 3 of those in the army.
Yeah. So for those of you who missed us at the start when you answered the question on this, it's so Seth Oster was supposed to be in attendance here. He couldn't make it for whatever reasons. He's in the chat. He can tell you if he wants.
He has confirmed in the chat.
He had all the models for this army, and naturally, when he couldn't make it, there was a bunch of very specific models that needed to be found. One of those being I think one of the models was supposed to be, I think it was 4 Grot tanks and a Mega Grot tank, like the Super Grot tank. Of course, that's not just a thing that everybody has lying around. In addition to a bunch of Mecha Dreads and Mega Dreads. So. Yeah, they did the best they can with what they had. You'll see the Mecha Dread is proxied by a Forge Fiend, and the Mega Dread is the Mauler Fiend. So the Mega Dread being on the right-hand side of the table, you'll see it in combat with the Gene Stealers, and the Mecha Dread in the top left-hand quadrant just above the Bone-Colored Death Dread.
Yep. So yeah, going through, we have the knight-based orc models contending with the 2 sky slashes on the top left objective, contesting it. Powerful there. So the Hive Guard, and Malanthrope have got to live to fight another day because Sean did not make the ramming speed play, very, very disappointingly, into the Hive Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so Sean holds that one, and he holds his home objective with approximately, I was going to say approximately all the Devouragorns, but I think it's approximately half, given that a squad evaporated to orc shooting that I was told was bad.
Mm-hmm. We were misinformed.
Indeed.
Cool. Should we hit a transition, if we can, over to the other game in our semi-finals, which I believe has to be. So if this is the game here, it has to be what, Ultramarines versus who? Who was the other winner? Ultramarines versus Craftworld Eldar. Yeah, if we can do the transition and go over and check that one out, because that's actually kind of an interesting matchup. There's Ultramarines in essentially 6 units of Intercessors with a Thunderhammer in 6 Impulses versus 3 units of Wraithblades and 6 Phoenix Lords, which somebody thought was okay. I don't know who that person was.
Yeah, I believe this is us that Sean that Sean wrote. So Noah is on the Ultramarines, Noah Badome, and Hank Adams. Apologies, Crimson Fists.
I thought this was the Smurfs list, and the all infantry one was the Crimson Fist, but I might be mistaken. Yeah. Either way, it's totally fine. And right now, what are you seeing for the scoreline, brother?
I am just going to read the numbers on the screen. It says 6 to Hank's Craftworld and 11 to Noah's Ultramarines.
Stunning work. Amazing. Secondary wise for Hank, we have R&D, engage on all fronts, and bring it down. You got 6 impulses to kill. Might as well. What's Noah taken?
What has Noah taken? Noah has taken R&D as well. He's taken Psychic Interrogation, and he has taken Oath of the Moment. Oaths, right?
Oaths.
There's plural oaths. Yeah.
It's multiple. Yeah,
many of the 3. Yeah, I believe there's 3 parts of oaths. Yeah.
Well, there's because he's got 6 Phoenix Lords. There's so many characters to kill for that. You can't imagine many fallbacks are going to take place. That is a bit awkward, isn't it? Because there can be a lot of impulses getting tagged, which does make it a bit wonky.
You say if there's 6 Phoenix Lords, there's lots of characters to kill. By that, if you were following through with that logic, though, would you not take Assassinate?
Yes, you would. Yeah, you would.
I wonder how many phases of damage the Ultramarines have to put wounds on those Phoenix Lords. I think it's just hit them with a Thunderhammer, do their wound cap, and then hope they live. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly right. If you can, because I mean, you need to bait them out. There's so Hank's whole army needs to be baited out, which is one of the reasons I don't mind oaths. Because you look at the central objective on the marine side of things, it's only just outside their deployment zone. Sorry, it's just beyond that objective that they can be in range to get the 2 points for oaths. I love the idea of chucking an empty impulsor into the middle of the table every other turn to get 2 points on oaths and then bait out a significant thing that you then get to kill. But I think the Wraithblades and the Phoenix Lords are absolutely OP in this matchup because there's a bunch of high toughness models with can only be killed essentially in combat by Thunderhammers, because the guns won't even scratch the paint that he's got. He's got Assault Bolters, Dubbers, Storm Bolters. They won't scratch the paint. So Thunderhammer has to go and kill the Wraithblades in combat, but the Thunderhammer's only 2 damage because they're -1, and they still get a save. So you need multiple Thunderhammers to go into each 5-man, and then how are you killing the Phoenix Lords? Like it's actually, I think this is heavily in Hank's favor, with the exception of the mobility. I think the mobility is all Noah's, and Noah needs to keep this thing moving, which is why I find R&D to be a good pick, because you can move an impulsor, you can get the unit out, you can and then just auto do R&D. So that should be pretty much just be a 12 in the bag for him, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I have a counterpoint to your love to see impulsors and wraiths don't have mobility thing there, because Hank has just moved some Wraithblades forward from the center of the table, which, if I had to pick, I would say they charged, and there may have been an impulsor there, and there is definitely no longer an impulsor in the middle. I think they crumped an impulsor in the middle and closing in fast on Noah's territory.
You're kind of happy that they that's kind of okay. You've got 6, and you're giving up 2 points on the impulsor to get 2 points on Oath of the Moment. So it's kind of a null and void thing. But all you're doing is making it so something has to stay in the middle to keep killing the impulsors. But I get what you're saying. You're giving up points to get points, and it kind of ends up in a wash. So you need to be doing something to actively get it back on your terms. I don't know how this Ultramarine list kills a unit of Wraithblades, let alone 3.
I think the answer might be it doesn't, because there are 10 of them right on his doorstep. There are 5 tucked into the L on his home objective there, to the left.
Could we extrapolate this round as being a tale of 2 skews, possibly? We have the fully mechanized Orc skew with high toughness across the board, just steamrolling kind of a super outdated Tyranids build, and then we have a god-awful Ultramarines build getting kind of bodied right now by high-toughness, wound-gated infantry.
Yeah, it could be, or to use the term that at least some of the best in tabletop crowd and associated patrons are a fan of, it might be a tale of the Ungers and the Bungers, because these Wraithblades are Unga-bungering it forward. I would say Sean was doing the same with his what was it, the can collection? Let's go with that. And
after a dance party.
Yeah, that one. I would say he's doing the same, but he didn't make the ramming speed play at him. I'm still cut by that.
He missed this one chance to shine.
Yeah,
and it shall never be seen again. Because this is the Sean, he's not a guy who gets many opportunities at these top tables. So he's
not used to being there at all.
No, he pretty much just ruined his one chance to stand out and shine, and that he's gonna have to live with that.
Yeah, I hear he's lost to some absolute buffoon that loves to run and hit people with Blood Angels and Chaos Knights and Drukhari. Referring to, of course, Anthony Vanella.
Never heard of him. Nah, never heard of him.
Yeah. I definitely didn't send the guy some objective markers as a surprise.
Which objective markers?
I made some. He's got a favorite emote of a screaming tennis ball thing.
He uses it in everything, doesn't he? It's the
I sent a set of markers to.
That's cute.
Yeah, it was meant to. We had a cunning plan to have someone else who wasn't able to make Charity Hammer to try and swap them out on stream. Was the ultimate goal. As he's playing a game, distract him and then swap them out.
I love that idea.
Yeah, it fell through. So
Hank's smashing him as far as I can see. We've got 3.
Yeah.
It's turn 2, and I think half the Ultramarines are dead. Well, at least half the Impulsors are dead.
Yeah,
at a minimum.
One of them has disappeared while we're talking. It was on the right somewhere. It's no longer on the right somewhere.
Who thought this was better than all the single units of Aspect Warriors, of which arguably only 2 are top table worthy? That being the Super Orks.
Is this not for single Aspect Warriors? Do they change it?
So they thought that was too powerful, and they subbed that out for 3 units of Wraithblades instead. The lunatics. Okay. The abject lunatics. So it just goes to show when you actually try and make lists bad, it's very hard to get them balanced between them. Just the same as it's very hard to make lists the same at the top. It's the extremes of the meta on both ends result in skewed matchups, it seems.
Yeah.
Were
there no Ranger models around, or only Ranger models around? Was that?
I have no idea.
Stream help.
The guy in the mirror was giving us some info. I didn't quite catch it.
The machine spirit was speaking to us.
It was. So Sean has been building and painting orcs since the pandemic started roaring. So he's probably just read the book. Just saying. Yeah, whatever.
Adam is so experienced. He reads Twitch chat and is just dismissed out of hand. Sorry, Cowboy.
Disregarded. Yeah, it's fine. He still didn't do the play. He knew that means that's even more of a damning comment. That means he knew enough to make the right decision and didn't make it. We should be more disappointed now.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we're about to lose another impulsor as well. This is looking horrible for Noah. Where does he get points from here? I mean, he's still got at least 2 units of impulsor that he can sling to get some R&D points. Psychic Interrogation is almost certainly going to be another 3. But Oath at moment is well cooked. I mean, a couple of characters you can pick it up, but the chances of it getting anywhere near the 15 is probably gone.
Look, I hear if you're tabled, you can't fail a morale check and you can't fall back, so you're guaranteed some points on Oath at moments. I think that's how that works, Adam.
Yeah.
So it's actually just like a brilliant play by Noah. If he gets himself tabled, he's got no temptation to fall back or fail a morale check. He will score his 5 points for Oaths. I don't think that's a strategy, but
he's just sitting back there, cracked his knuckles, and you're like, yeah, it's all coming together.
I was talking to him at 2 a.m. my time or something last night because I joined a voice call and people were waiting for the data slate. And yeah, he said, I hope I commentate some of his games.
Nice.
And call him out. So yeah, Noah is a fantastic guy. He
calling him out. You are not calling him out right now.
Okay, well I'll call him out a little bit because he was so good. He decided. I'll tell you how he gets points. He just accidentally gives himself slightly too many command points. Was his play for the open? I think he needed to have double patrol, but instead had a battalion with 2 commanders in it for Tau. And Goonhammer pointed it out. Yeah, no. So he was saying the funny thing is he finished every game with CP because he was gaining it with an ethereal and playing KG. So it did not matter. But the guy was still a champ. He the TOs let him know after Goonhammer noticed it. He, I believe, forfeited his points or prizes or some such. He did some appropriate and wonderful gesture. And I believe the response from one of the TOs was that something along the lines of your sportsmanship votes for the event say that you did not detract from anyone's games. So yeah, really, really great guy.
Lovely.
I've had some good chats with Noah.
Awesome, dude. For those wondering what the hell we are doing, this is Charity Hammer. This is the 4th Charity Hammer that has taken place, and it is an extravaganza of 40k brilliance brought to you by some of the best players in the world and the best in tabletop team, most notably Colin Sherman, the primogenitor of aforementioned group. And we are here to raise money for Child's Play, a very wonderful charity that primarily assists in providing gaming aids and entertainment needs for children whilst they undergo medical care, but also does the same into family violence shelters and domestic violence shelters. So absolute phenomenal charity of which every single cent that you donate will be donated. Not one penny will go elsewhere. And should you donate $30 or increments of $30, for every increment of $30, you will get a raffle ticket into the prize pool for a bunch of phenomenal prizes. And we had a Beast Snagger box given away, which I think is worth a couple $100, easily a couple $100 in our dollary dues, yours and mine.
Oh,
mate.
Yeah.
And that just got given away. To a gentleman who bought a ticket. We are going to be having a $1,200 gift voucher to Hammerhead Games. In addition, Sean Naden, the gentleman who you see piloting the magnificent mech wall, the dance party, is going to be paying an army for somebody, like a fully commission painted army of, I mean, I don't know how much it costs you to get a commission army painted, mate, but it is multiple thousands of dollars usually for a decent sized army.
Look, I don't ask questions I don't want to know the answer to. So, also, should we go take a look at that game as well?
We should indeed, because I am of the unfortunate opinion that 15 Wraith Blades just made combat, and this is actually just over.
I think we might come back later and see a distinct lack of impulses.
Wouldn't be surprised if we come back to see a final score, and that's about it. Okay, what are you seeing here, babe? What's your first impressions upon our return?
There's Sky Slashers, stealing objective from Death Dreads, the sort of right middle orc objective, and there is some bug on the left. Is that Swarmlord? It is Swarmlord.
It has to be Swarmlord.
Yeah, he is. He's backed up, butt hugging a Morkanaut. Gorkanaut, one of the two. Yeah, Gorkanaut. All right. Yeah. They're back to back.
just having a good little scratch. Is itchy like a bear. But yeah, on the bottom right, the unit of Devil Gaunts, the 30-man, has strung out to contest the right-hand objective in their side of the table. That was pretty much just a...
I was going to say, they have OBSEC, Adam. They are not contesting that objective. They are controlling that objective.
Well, you can't control 2 objectives with the same unit. Yeah, you can't contest.
No,
2.
you can. You can hold. It's model by model. You can.
Okay.
So one model can only hold 1 objective.
That's right.
But a unit can hold multiple. I know this because I can't do it with my knights, but I can do it with my custodes.
There you go.
You got to have 2. Yep.
And so yeah, he's doing that in order to just stop Sean from getting what would be an 8, I believe, otherwise. But the sky slashes have gone up as well, so that job was already being done. As it sat, he's trying to give him a donut, I believe. Yeah, he'll get a 0. Sean will get a legitimate 0.
Oh yeah.
In his turn.
Yep.
So yeah, good play. I think it has to be done. You have to flip the script and put some pressure back on his opponent. So at least some portion of his army has to stay and clear the objective, rather than the whole Canwall, the dance party, just going straight down the jugular.
Yeah. Let's see if Naden can rein the Orks in and tell them, no, hit the lads further away. Some of you stay and get these ones.
Yeah, spot on.
I think he'll be a good enough general to manage that.
Yeah, he needs to kill some stuff though. He needs to reduce Sean's body count. Like, he's still got every single thing he started the game.
Reduce it by at least 1. At least then you can have like a slight moral victory. Because
yeah, I mean, you go the whole game and don't kill a damn thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
rough.
It is in fact a time. Yeah. Yeah, but we'll see. Look, he's handing out a big fat donut, 0 for primary at least. So that is, head can be held high.
Well, so that, because he's doing this the way he's doing it, that means there is something on the home objective for Sean, which I've got to assume is Buzzgob. Yeah, that's the only real model that's unaccounted for.
I think it's on the lava, which is covering some of the objective. I assume the intent there would be to say he's towing the objective.
Yeah. Looks like we're going into the bottom of turn 2. I've just seen a fallback from the Morkanot from the Swarm Lord, just getting the hell out of there. There's not much that good that is going to occur there. He actually needs to shoot the Swarm Lord in order to kill him, because in combat, doesn't he still have a 3+ invuln?
Probably. I'm pretty sure he ignores the first failed save in combat.
Yep.
He might not be a 3+ invul. I could try and find rules.
I've got it literally right here, mate.
The content review podcast, man, has the content ready.
It's just 4+ invulnerable save.
Okay.
And yeah, the first instance, you're absolutely right. First instance, once per turn, the first time a saving throw made against a melee attack is failed, reduce the damage characteristic to 0. So yeah, we'll 0 out the first of those really generally high quality attacks. But honestly, does the Swarm Lord even need to die? Like, you'd probably be happy to just let him stay there, to be honest, as long as you
just
clear the sky slashes.
Just T-pose around them with three big mechs and control that objective anyway, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. You can just have that objective contested and just go for the rest. Because he's only one guy, can only be in one place at one time, doesn't have any shooting attacks, can maybe smite for 3 mortals, maybe. Not that high a priority technically.
Yeah, I don't know what psychic powers the Swarm Lord is equipped with. Probably terrible ones.
Well, it's actually the good ones. Onslaught Catalyst.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to be fitting the theme of the
of the awful list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mind you, if they just copy pasted the 8th edition list, then that was the powers that it would have come with, which is technically what this army is.
Look, that makes sense, okay. But I'm bad and I'm commentating the bad games, so let's go with that.
Yeah. How dare they choose good powers? He should have the horror and psychic scream.
Paroxysm was reasonable, and I think is bad now. It might even just not exist now.
It probably does, and it's probably bad, and I don't mind. Good, because it used to be Fight Blast, didn't it?
Yeah,
it was great.
And so that had the biggest, because it was back when there were 2 different types of Fight Blast. It was the bad type of Fight Blast that you could interrupt because of rules as written, I think, and then they fixed it so it was functionally just like, there's 3 initiative steps, but they're not called that. And then it was like the stonks went up real quick. I remember being like real sad when I got my no psychic interaction armies got hit with paroxysm and then wailed on by a bunch of bugs. Yeah. That'll teach me.
I'll show
you. So that hurt.
So essentially the shooting game for the Nids is going to be shut down this turn, right? In fact, I have a bit of a fear that those Hive Guard units are too close to each other and that one Gorkanaut could tag both of them.
You make a good point, but I think he's actually going to send one into each of them, and I believe they're going to get crumped.
They will get crumped. He won't lose all 6, right? Because I think that the Gorkanauts only have 5 attacks. So even if they use their big sweeps, there's no way that kills 6 regardless.
Where's the Melanthrope is like right up in the middle there. What's he doing there?
Yeah, it's in the middle for some reason.
Is he trying to protect the Sky Slashers? Is he running out of synapse? I believe the Hive Guard can fail the leadership check at this point.
Well, yeah, the Malanthrope just dies, right? You just kill the Malanthrope first, and just cops a Death Dread to the teeth, goes down, and you can just make everything start popping.
Seth is pointing out as well that the Orkanauts are big lads. They can fall back and shoot and charge.
Yeah, so, legitimate big boys. Yeah. They have the super heavy walker rules essentially, right?
Yeah. So they are fully fledged Orc Knights nowadays. And just on cue.
There we go.
Yeah. TikTok, it's charge o'clock. No, it's not.
Put it back. No, put it back.
Wait, go back.
Yeah.
Sean, we had such a nice transition. You're ruining it for us.
I see what he wants to do, though. He wants the Mecha Dread and the Gorkanaut to cross over to change sides, essentially. So the Mecha Dread's going to come around. Yeah, exactly right. Mecha Dread's going to come around the back of the Gorkanaut now, and he wants that to charge in because it's actually probably better into the Hive Guard than the Gorkanaut, because the Gorkanaut can use the sweep profile into the Devil Gaunts, because it's one of the only things that has it in that book, so it can pick up the Devil Gaunts really well. Whereas the Mega Dread,
I think that was just a movement, actually, Adam.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so I was wrong. It was not at all charge o'clock. We're going to have a whole shooting. Okay.
Yeah. It will get there when we get there. But so where is the Mega Charge? Ripper Claws. Each time equipped with 2 Ripper Claws, time it fires to 1 additional attack. So he has, I think it's 6 or 7 attacks. The Mega Dread at strength 14 minus 3 D3 plus 3. Yep. So just auto pops those. Auto pops those guys. As long as it hits some wounds, just dead.
Yeah, well, it's hit. I don't know what the hit's on. Is it hit on 2s or 3s?
Nah, it's 3s. I think there is a way to. Seth was saying before there's a way to buff it to 2s, but I'm not quite sure how that works.
So hits on 2s, hits on 3s, kills on 2s. That are
essentially.
Yeah, I think that is a recipe for some sad Hive Guard.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't need to kill them all this turn as well. Just stop him shooting. Job's done.
But not Seth, you're Adam. But Adam, I want them to die this turn. I want to see the things get hit by big stompy idiot orc robots, piloted by a very intelligent pointy-eared general.
So SP's just asked in chat, is this pre or post update? This is pre-updates. This is playing with Nockmund, pre-everything essentially, because that's how these lists needed to be concocted. The GT, the amazing, essentially like Murderers Row GT Shark Tank that'll be starting tomorrow. All the lists for that are pretty much being written as we speak or tonight, with everything in play. That's Nephilim, the points changes, and the data slate in place. So that'll be literally the most cutting edge 40k content that could possibly be made this weekend.
Yep. They will be some very freshly sharpened knives.
Mm-hmm.
The edges might not be honed and fully. I'm running out of metaphor here. But,
you did a fine job.
Yeah. I got distracted by the bucket of dice Sean is rolling.
It's Dakar o'clock right now.
Yeah. If I had to bet, I would say Matt might be picking up some gaunts.
Devil gaunts is my assumption. Yeah. It's that, or it's all the big shooters and crap going into Sky Slashers and stuff.
Surely though you could just hit them. Right?
Yeah, surely, right? That's perfect, like Death Dread fodder.
Although I suppose if you if you shoot one of the Sky Slashers, then that Melanthrope is not Lookout Third anymore, and so he might be. But then why would you waste your time? You can. They are in crumping distance, and shoot the copious quantities of idiot gaunts that have really not learned their lesson from the other guys and staying outside of that -1 to hit bubble.
You know what all that DACA was? I believe it was all the big shooters off the Grot tanks picking up the last Gene Stealer that was hiding out in the ruin, the lava ruin. I think that's all that was.
Powerful.
Oh no, apologies. No, it was the Devil Gaunts. It was the Gorgon absolutely shellacking half the Devil Gaunt unit.
Yeah.
But he still picked up one model from that ruin. I don't know what that was, but somebody picked up a model in that ruin.
I'm just confused which ruin you're picking it up from. I thought this is the lava table.
It is the lava table. The ruined rocks, you know, they were once fine rocks, and now they are quite ruined.
I'm back with you. Yeah.
To the right of screen, next to where the tanks are. It could have just been a dice, and I'm
for sure
jumping at ghosts.
Yeah.
You thought Void Reavers were airbrushed. Prepare for the Necron airbrush, says Sam.
No, see, if people want to run like the tanks on them, man, they're gonna have some time assembling those.
They're pain in the balls.
There's another local guy here has like, or at least his Necrons have some level of, I don't know if it's like painted in quarters or like split different color left and right, and I can't quite remember how he did it with a Ghost Arc, but man, that looked fiddly. So yeah,
I hear the Ghost Arc is a real pain to build.
Yeah, I could see that. It seems like it wouldn't necessarily be the worst. It's just like a lot of repetitive parts to glue together. I've seen one from a friend. He's a great gamer. He's not necessarily the strongest of hobbyists, and he has a slightly crooked Ghost Arc that I think he set it down sideways to dry, and the back cab sort of ended up at an angle. So it takes a bit of building. Man, Sean is rolling a lot of dice there. That is even more of them Devil Gaunts getting picked up.
Yeah, they look pretty slaughtered from what I can see.
I don't expect there to be very many bugs left alive. I wonder as well if there actually was a CP count of the dice you're talking about, because it's down to 3 and Swarm Lord's just chilling over there.
Yeah, with no dice on him. I would have been incredulous if he had enough shooting to kill 30 Devil Gaunts, a unit of Sky Slashers. What else was he killing? And a Swarm Lord.
They believe, like Adam. The Orks believed.
I believe I have more dice, and then he had more dice.
Also, Big Mech Buzzgob or Buzzjaw. I'm just gonna say like weird orky sounding words and assume it's the dude. He is on the march with his Orkanaut. I'm just going to say Orkanaut, and I've got my bases covered. And he's left the I can't believe it's not a Forge Fiend on the home objective to earn that CP.
Yeah. But that's the Mecha Dread, as in the one with a mech inside it, whereas the Mega Dread has a knob inside it.
Of course.
Sherman Messer says, I'd use my legs and 8 fingers to put my Ghost Arc together. I can just imagine trying to monkey that thing into an appropriate configuration. KR Quinn has said, I wonder if the big War of the Worlds thing being cool will help. Never see them. The Doomstalkers? Unfortunately, no. The same issue with the DDAs. It wasn't core that was keeping them off the tables. It was the fact that their profiles just aren't good enough. When you have D6s at the start and end of a profile, it cannot be good. And I am dead set convinced of that. You could have a strength 16 -5 on the rend and the strength, and still the fact that it has D6 shots and D6 damage would mean it's too inconsistent to like warrant the investment.
I think they might actually have that strength, and I think they actually are -5. It might be strength 10. Much to my sadness, have a Necron book, which I am wandering over to go check.
I have the Necron book as well somewhere. Don't know where. Haven't
review man strikes again.
Yeah, but boom, yeah. Ooh,
yeah.
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 I actually, like, at the start, when I first started my show, I bought all the books. And now I've learned I
that is a painful quantity of dollary dues.
It is. It's $83 in Australia for every one of them, and more. Like, yeah. How much is the decks over there? Square 100, flat 100?
Yeah, or like 99. So the I've got a really good rule to convert from US dollar price to New Zealand dollar price for GDub, and you multiply it by 2. And that will account for GDub conversion and currency conversion.
Wow.
I try not to think about it because it makes me sad, but it's fine. The Doomsday Arc is in fact -5, but it is only strength 10 on its high power profile, which you can't shoot if it moves.
If it moves, yeah.
With
So
its D6 shots into these. It goes down to AP2 if it moves? Adam, why am I reading this? Okay.
Because it's awful. It's an awful profile.
This is why Michael Timpe went and made his own game, Outward Realms, which, if you win, the grand prize of Charity Hammer, a $1,200 US dollar voucher to Hammerhead Games, equivalent to 2,400 New Zealand dollars of Games Workshop product, you could buy an Outward Realms army, because Hammerhead Games stocks that. You could buy Marvel Crisis Protocol. You could buy other game systems, Star Wars Legion, I'm sure, which is the secret to winning UK Super Majors if Chris Irvine and Innes Wilson are to be believed.
Yeah.
And I think losing money at a blackjack table.
Yeah, which they're apparently very consistent on. Pivoting into, can we just hit a transition over the other game quickly? I just want to see if it was as bad as I thought it was. We can come join this at the end of the fight phase and see how that unfolds. Sam has asked me, will we be losing you to the old world? Not entirely, I don't believe, but the fantasy was my first and most ardent love in this hobby, and I will be playing the hell out of it and then just seeing how much I love it, pretty much. Is it as bad as we thought it was going to be, mate?
I still see 3 impulses. If we're talking about this game, not if we're talking about fantasy. I don't have any reference.
There is still blue on this table. I am surprised.
I would be impressed if the wraiths broke the objective markers, because the objective markers have blue on them. That's would be powerful.
True. Yeah.
They could be Hunters of Ancient Relics. I don't know if that's still a Craftworld option, but the only custom Craftworld option is Hail of Doom. And now they're not even letting you take any other option to distract you. It is just Hail of Doom. They tell you what's important.
How do you feel about that change? Do you feel like that's enough to put Hail of Doom on the shelf?
No. I don't have a good stance on this, but I am just sort of going with the groupthink and other people from the fantastic Best in Tabletop Discord and say, no, probably not.
The fact that none of their units got hit, none of the prime units that make use of Hail of Doom got hit, means that I think all this hit did was put them maybe equal with Ulthway.
Maybe went up a point a model.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It doesn't even touch the sides. Like whatever. Like it's not. That's not a. So when I first did my review on that, I looked at which top list got hit the hardest, like which top archetype, and to the intensive purposes, like the Farseers went up 5 points. The Dire Avengers went up 1 point. That's pretty much the only ubiquitous you see in every Hail of Doom list points change. Whereas
they increased. They even helped you. They said, no, make sure you're not taking scatter bikes because those cost more now.
Yeah,
Shuriken bikes. No, it's still the same. It's fine. You're fine. So you can't take the Ignores cover trait to go with to maybe have some scatter bikes alongside your Hail of Doom. Only Hail of Doom, just Shuriken. We're helping you.
And even in addition, they even did. You're absolutely right. They helped in another way. They removed to the last, which was the reason that people took anything that wasn't a shuriken something slapped to a something. So there's no reason to take the big swooping hawks anymore, because they don't do anything into Armor Contempt land. They don't threaten anything anymore. So they go out and just more bikes come in. So it's 3 units of like 7 to 9 bikes and 30 Dire Avengers. There's no need to go anywhere else.
Yeah. So there's no to the last. There's no temptation for Eldar players to be all tricksy and safe. They can take notes from their green pointy-eared brethren and cowabunga it is. Go full violence.
Entirely min-max the crap out of it now.
Yep. Every Eldar life is sacred, which means every non-Eldar life isn't sacred. So they will cut you down in a Hail of Doom.
Yeah, once per game fire and fade is going to be rough for them, and the no auto battle focus. I think that is going to mean that they just kind of have to play a different play style, or they actually have to play a trading game. But now they can have enough units to play a trading game. Like they'll have 6 premium trading units. And turn 1 they don't trade, because turn 1 they just use fire and fade that turn, and be like, okay, we're going to start the trading war by not trading, and we'll start trading on turn 2 after we've removed 1 or 2 of your pieces.
Counterpoint, Adam. You only need a fire and fade once if you table your opponent after your second shooting phase.
Yeah, it's true. It's totally right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, don't need to be behind the ruin when they can't kill you. They got no guns left. Never heard of you.
I haven't done too much commentary, but I've learned that you just need to be really confident in your bad takes, and people will believe it, and it's fine, right? Is that how it works?
True. It's pretty true.
Yeah,
it's pretty true. You just got to double down, triple down. Don't broke any hearsay, and just be like, nah, don't talk about.
Look, I am the most down under commentator that's going to come on here, I think. So I am well down.
Well down.
Yeah.
Is that because you live in the south of New Zealand?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
How south are we talking?
Halfway down, Christchurch.
Halfway down? Yeah. Is that lower than Victoria, Melbourne?
Yeah, I think like most of our country is.
Most of it is. Yeah.
Check, but yeah. So what are we doing? Should we go back to the games? Should we pretend to do our job?
We don't have a
Let's chill for charity.
No,
Everyone, people just joining us. Child's Play. This is what this whole event is about. Charity Hammer. This is the first day of 4 days. There are like 70 to 80 hours of streaming, something like that. I'm going to confidently say an approximately accurate number.
When it's all said and done, it's going to be approaching 80 hours.
Yeah, and that is consecutive. And there are 4 streams, I believe. You have us wonderful couple of idiots from Down Under talking like we know what we're doing, and shilling. But if you want to hear the players, I believe there are streams where players are mic'd up. And yeah, you can donate to Child's Play. There should be links, hopefully, in descriptions. And every $30 you donate to Child's Play, all of which will go there to Child's Play, you get a ticket into the prize draw. So there is a raffle giving away prizes at intervals determined by when there are breaks in games, when Colin feels like it, probably some other actual scheduled times, and you can win a whole bunch of amazing prizes. And yeah, everything goes to Child's Play. They do provide toys and games and entertainment such for children in hospitals, because we like sick kids, but we don't like kids being sick or bored at hospitals.
Correct.
Yeah. Have I missed anything, Adam?
No, you've done a great job.
Yeah. And they also provide some involvement in domestic abuse shelters and helping with that. And are international in North America, Australia, I think the UK, and various other places. So yeah.
Please donate. Support is an amazing cause. It's an absolute privilege and honor to be able to have a community that can do this kind of stuff. It really shows a lot of growth and maturity happening in our nerd scenes here, there, and everywhere, that we can be such a force of good. And please be involved if you can. If not, please boost the signal of this stream. Like, share, send it to your mates, post it on your social medias. Let's get as many eyes on this wonderful cause as we can, and on these phenomenal 80 hours of content that you guys are receiving, just because we want to do something nice and give you guys a reason to throw some dollars our way. But yeah, especially tomorrow, will be like cutting edge, new meta, new world stuff. We talked about the old world. This is new world, whole new world of 40k is coming down the pipe for us.
Yeah, let's all band together and see if we can donate collectively, everyone else, more than Matthew Nurgle does solo to charity.
You mean the white whale?
Yeah, is he single-handedly supporting your content creation dreams, Adam?
Yeah. Well, in hype, yes. I don't need the dollars in order to do what I do. The dollars certainly mean that I can keep going and I don't burn out at some stage financially. But yeah, I do what I do because I love it. I'm sure you guys are the same over on Down Under and the rest. Sam saying some nice words in the chat. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. From this game, it looks like going to the Hank's. I think, is the Hank on the bottom of turn or the top of turn? Hank might be the top of turn 3, because I think he's got 2 turns of scoring to Noah's 1 turn of scoring on primary.
Yeah, I'm going to go see if I can. There are engage and bring it down point. Okay, so I'm going to try reverse engineer the secondaries and work it out.
Yeah, 100%. I think Hank's got the top of turn here. especially with his board state and how he's been able to apply pressure on the ultras. Like, he's so deep into the opponent's deployment zone. Like, you can't just do that going second in 2 turns, really.
Yeah, it looks like Hank's probably had 2 turns of secondary scoring. 6 for bring it down, 5 total for engage, and 1 tick of R&D, I would guess.
Yep, I'd guess as well.
And then Noah, I'm assuming he would have cast his
interrogation twice.
His interrogation.
Yeah, probably.
And scored an oath of moment and not R&D.
Yeah.
This might be top of 2. Let's go for that guess. And he's got one tick of primary and 2 ticks of primary.
Well, so it says Hank's round 3 on the top of screen, so it's definitely turn 3. I was just trying to figure out if we're at the top or the bottom of turn 3. I believe we're at the top of turn 3.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, because we're primary scoring. Yeah, so he's had 2 ticks of primary and 2 ticks of secondary scoring, which means he is in his turn 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Must be Hank's top of turn 3. And man, are there any dead Wraith Blades? Like, I see 15 or damn near 15, maybe only 1 or 2 dead, which is just no bueno. Just absolutely rough as guts.
Can you auto-explode impulses?
No, you can't. You should be able to. Well, like Raven Guard or someone like them should be able to.
Yeah.
There's so many armies are getting that like sabotagey effect that I feel like it's just Marines should get it.
Yeah, it feels good that Knights get an auto explode now rather than like.
Oh my lord!
I hope this 4-up works.
Paying CP for a 4-up is just never a place I want to be. Paying CP for a coin flip.
I think it's okay on the standard model up front, which they have that as well on some select different versions, depending on which flavor of Knight you're playing. And Phoenix Lords have that as well, right? To tie it back to this game we're watching. There are some Phoenix Lords. They are places on this table, right? Do you know which places?
Most of them. I know. I can see Baharoth on the middle left. I do not see Baharoth. I thought I did. I thought I saw some wings on the middle left-hand objective, but that's actually just the design of the objective.
Is it Jane's R, maybe? It looks like it might be here.
Yes, standing next to the Impulsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I saw wings there, but it's not. So that is one of the other aspect warriors, because the only real way I have to tell them apart is, do they have wings or are they a swirly like a aspect of death looking dude? Apart from that, Fugan and
dude, right? Who went up in points.
Sorry?
Fugan is the fire dragon dude who went up in points. Yep. Azumin is the chief dire avenger. He is the direst avengerist dire avenger.
All of the diaries, yep.
Morgan Ra, is he the that I see wings. That is Colin's Flappy B conversion. That is Baharoth going into the Impulsor. I can say that with confidence. Yeah. On the top left objective.
Yeah, that's the one I thought it was as well, but I outthunk myself. Are all the Wraithblades shields and axes from this vantage point? They 100% look to be all shield and axe, which is the best configuration if I believe you want to be killing Space Marines.
I think the middle has some swords. So there are bone ones on the bottom objective, yoinking that from the Impulsor. There are some more bone ones sort of to the left of the bottom of the screen. And in between the two, to the north of one of them and the east of the other, are some dudes that are coloured bluish with swords, I think.
Cool. Well, at a minimum, there's 2. I can definitely see there's 1 unit with axes. You're right, actually. Yeah, it looks like 1 unit with swords. I can't see what the blue guys have got.
I think the blue ones do have swords, do they not?
I can't tell from this angle.
Like, there's some swords.
The blue Wraithblades have swords. We just got told from our table boss. Thank you very much. I think it's Zach as our table boss for today. Thank you very much, mate. The score as it sits right now, Hank is pulling ahead by 6 points, and we don't expect that to change. I do believe he's going to be staying up. Looks like we have had a charge from what looks to be another aspect where I'd assume that's Fugan on the bottom right-hand quadrant. It is a single model that is painted orange. The only information I have to tell you is that that's probably Fugan, who I rate. I like Fugan. I like all the aspect warriors, mostly because they have nostalgic models that were around when I was 11 and started playing this game, which was 23 years ago.
And they are still the same models today,
it's the
right?
Same model. So they tickle all my nostalgia bits.
I'm going to disagree with you on the scoreboard front, though. I think Hank's going to stay ahead by more than a little bit. I think the gap will be widening. Sorry to say that, Noah, but
Yeah, well, sorry, that's what I meant. Sorry if I said it wrong. I mean, like, I can't see. I can't see how Noah closes the gap.
Oh yeah, big time. But I saw an opportunity to claim. I know what I'm doing at him. You see?
Ah, beautiful. Yeah, I should butter up some more for you. I should give you some more layups.
Yeah.
You know what? Unit really sucks. Baharoth. He's so overrated and not good at all.
That feels like it's sarcasm, but isn't it like at least some people's take that is the case? I know Colin has been vocal about it.
I'm being facetious and trying to give you opportunities.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting confused at him, so this isn't working. It can be my fault.
I was offering you layups for easy.
I know.
Well, actually, Adam.
Should we
to show your knowledge, to show your quality? It's all good.
Yeah. Shall we?
We should hit a transition and check out the Sean Naden game against the wonderful Matt.
Oh, there's nothing happening? Okay,
yeah,
we're going over.
Well, there's very little happening here. This feels like it's almost into mop-up territory for Hank. Mind you, Noah can still score a bunch of points, but like I said, I don't see him closing the gap or getting supremacy on the table anytime soon, yeah?
Yeah, these games feel a bit similar in that it's, at least in this one, it's interesting and different because I think Sean went second this one, and I think Hank went first in the other. So
yeah,
that is a thing. Yep. And we've just had a handshake.
Just had a handshake.
I think we've switched over just in time for a tabling. Yeah, that is.
Oof.
All right.
Fat man scoop. Is Swarmlord still alive? Someone tell me.
No, he's dead. He was top left. He is gone. He's been punted into the sun by mech orky violence.
So it's probably going to be Sean's Orks versus Hank's Eldar on the top table, which is good because they deserve each other. These two lists.
Zach, important question: did Sean lose any models? Did the bugs kill any of the Ork models? Oh no, that is crushing.
Flawless victory is what the table boss just said. Well, I love his Mortal Kombat reference. That does make it all the more palatable.
Yeah, that is a crushing victory for the Dreadnought. No, Death Dread Dance Party. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I think the easy money would be on Sean to win that matchup in the next one. Surprisingly, Wraithblades do not kill his big stuff that well because of the -1 damage. Wait, do the axes get them to strength 8 or to strength 7? I already got the data sheet up. Only gets him to strength 7, so Ramshackle will be an issue. So it's all damage 1. And he has just enough shooting in that Orc list to pip 3 wounds off a Eldar model every now and then in order to make it killable.
You know what else can pip 3 wounds off an Eldar model, Adam?
The charge, the big old sandy charge. What's it called?
Adam, I've repeated enough. You've got this, mate.
Nah, whatever.
Ramming speed.
Ramming
speed, Adam.
That's the one.
Yeah.
The big Wari charge thing, you know.
Yeah, I think the Mega Dreads might just have a built-in they're chonky and they do some anyway.
They charge on 3d6 as it is, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. So Seth was saying they will charge on 4d6. I think take the 3
and drop
highest
one, right? Yeah.
Re-rollable if they ramming speed. So they just make 9s from reserve. They just like 5s.
If something's within 12, they just charge it.
They
just
point, go
right?
and get it, man. Like, cause you just need 3 4s on 4 dice with a reroll.
Yeah, I think you just make that. That feels like a thing.
Feels pretty relaxed. Feels pretty easy. Eh? Yes. So KR Quinn is betting on Sean. I mean, Sean playing as an army, he's using very well against an army that Sean is an expert at. You'd assume.
Yeah. Not to call you out here, Quinn, but betting on Sean Naden seems like just a generally pretty sound bet anyway. Yeah.
Literally, until you get into like the top 8 of the LVO, you just bet on Sean Naden. Like you just do. And then it becomes an argument.
Until what? The most recent LVO, Sean always got into the top 8 of LVO, right? Like it's just it is a pretty sound bet.
It absolutely is. We've had a lot of other Mortal Kombat references where we had a brutality and a finish him. Can we get a toasty? Can we get a nice toasty? You might be too young for that, to be honest.
I'm sorry, I can't back you up on this one, Adam. I am not that up there with the Mortal Kombat. I know.
Oh man.
I know that. Yeah, I know finish him and the some of the brutal the finishing moves. Scorpion yoinks people over, right? Am I getting this right?
Yeah. Get over here. Yeah. Etc.
No, I got this. But so, I do not know the toasty.
We've had another impulsor removed, the one onto the one that Baharoth was investing upon. It looks like we're just seeing Wraithblades grind into some characters and intercessors on the middle left objective for the Ultramarines. So the toasty thing, by the way, is one of the so for whatever reason, there were just in one of the Mortal Kombat games, when you would uppercut your opponent, and sometimes when you uppercut them, they would fly through the ceiling and land on the next level of the stage. And then one of the creators' cartoon face would pop up on the screen in the bottom right hand corner and would yell out toasty. And it's become ubiquitous with Mortal Kombat in a lot of ways. And it's just a very silly thing that I love. I love very much.
Yeah, I heard the creators were a bit evil in Mortal Kombat, where they had like. So they were like finishing moves if you hit a certain combo of like a secret button. Yeah, and it would be like an extra brutal like cutscene. And they had it in the arcade machines, and so but they didn't tell anyone. And so some kid was button mashing in a game and got this really cool thing, and the creators gaslighted them. They said, "Nah, it's not a thing," and got everyone to try and like put more money into their arcade machines. I think
were the old Easter eggs. Those are some of the original gaming Easter eggs, like the things like so they had the kidalities, the child fatalities, and the fatalities, which were ultra violent by those standards. Like you'd pull one off in like your parents would be like, oh yeah, it's just a fighting game, a little bit of blood, and then you pull off one of the fatalities when like Scorpion would like rip your skin off and like burn you alive and stuff like that, and your parents
like, pull
would just
someone's spine out.
Yeah, no more gamings for you. No more games for you. But they were so hard to execute. Like you'd run out to the news agents to buy the cheat codes in like some magazine, and then bring it home and try and do the down forward, back forward, down forward, up down, low kick, high kick, low kick, low kick, and in order to try and execute one of these. And you had like a 5-second window in order to put it together in perfect sequence. And it was so cool. Like when you pulled it off at the arcade, and you'd yell at everybody to be like, I got the fatality, and like 10 other kids would run over in order to watch it, because it's so hard, so it happens so rarely, and it'll be like, wow, you're so cool and shit. It was a good time. Yeah, that was my gush on my childhood. Welcome to
my equivalent one was playing with friends. Are these Rangers getting pulled, or is this the game packing up to
I believe it's the game packing up. They've just I see the scores have been updated to be 83-34 in Hank's favor. I don't think there was any digging up from that deficit for him, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think you were right earlier. It does look like there are wings on their other model on the top left objective. I think that might have been a hawk with Baharoth who came to back him up.
Okay. That makes sense. So I think we are going to I think we're going to hit a transition now. We're going to close off for a break. Stay with us. It'll just be a break for me and Alex. We will be back with the finals, which will be Sean Naden and the Dread Dance Party versus, what are we calling the Boneyard versus the Boneyard?
Let's go with the Boneyard. Yeah, no, that's great.
Boneyard, yeah, because it's all the constructs.
If only you had some Bonebreaker battle wagons. That would be so cool. Yeah,
the Bonebreaker going into the Boneyard. But yeah, we're going to sign off. Stick with us, though. Colin will be here to give away some stuff, do some wrap-ups, and some chats with the winners and losers. So don't go anywhere. In fact, you don't need to go anywhere for the next 4 freaking days. Just leave your screen on, come in, and join us whenever you manage to have the time. Sling some dollars for Child's Play, and we will see you soon. Good, and well done to Alex. This is his first time ever commentating. Well done to Alex.
Yeah, thanks everyone for putting up with me. And if you need to go anywhere, go to Child's Play. Support... give toys to children in hospitals. Happy kids heal better is Colin's favorite saying. So yeah.
Hey, we're back, and we're back early.
We are.
There was some wreckage. Both games not close.
Here's not.
No, it appears that the Eldar just walked through their Space Marine opponents.
turns out T6 -1 damage is hard if you don't have good weapons.
Yeah. Zach says T6 -1 damage is difficult to kill if you don't have good guns, and that makes sense to me.
I think what we've learned is that bad units that are tough are better than bad units that don't kill anything.
Yeah, I think that's true. Also, the LR book is just better than the Space Marine book. So,
I
like,
want to be the one to say
a bad list from both book may not be fair.
Would you say then that a bad list from like a guard book would be the worst list?
Yeah, I'm beginning to think we might have picked the Orc list incorrectly as the worst list. So and then the Orcs walked through the Tyranids.
I mean, yeah, same problem. -1 damage on everything. No solution for that.
Well, that's all right. That Tyranid list doesn't really have multi-damage. So.
I've got to roll damage 1 into Ramshackle.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, they're strength 6 now.
That Ramshackle feels really bad when you're not strength 8 Hive Guard. That's actually, the Hive Guard actually deserve that more than almost any unit in the game. I don't know about you, but I killed so many Orcs with strength 8 Hive Guard.
1 unit of Hive Guard killed more Orcs than like 15 would have in that game.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The first game I played when we had the, I'm rerolling everything, and I'm rerolling damage, and I'm exploding 6s, and I'm shooting twice. When we had that on our Hive Guard, Chuck and I played a game, and he had 9 Rucka Trucks, and I overkilled 6. Like, I should have, like, we acknowledged, we rolled it a lot to see how many buggies I would have killed, and I should have split my fire more than I did, beyond the 6 that I killed.
Solid. Well, it came back around for the Hive Guard, unfortunately. Now is not their hour anymore.
No, it's really not. So, since we have an hour to kill, while we wait for the final of the Bad RTT, which will be Orks into Eldar.
Excellent.
Sure.
I thought it was on Sunday.
No, it's like next.
We're not done.
For 58 minutes or no?
Yeah, go on.
Home with this.
Yeah, 58 minutes for you guys. Go get some food. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah. So, so the finals next, but Sean does get an hour break before he has to play because he wrecked his opponent so efficiently.
I don't usually do that.
Yeah, I bet. Good. Are you kind of Mr. 3 hours normally? I would imagine. Yeah. So.
This work on replace pretty fast.
Your movement phases are probably not taking a lot of planning.
No.
Did you lose any models?
I did not lose any models.
No.
How was game 1? Didn't lose any models game 1?
Oh, game 1 I lost a bunch of models.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not a bunch. 7? 3? I think it's gonna be 3. He's gonna tell
No, I
me it's
lost
1.
all 4 grot tanks.
Oh.
2
Shameful.
draft dreads.
4 grot tanks, 2 death dreads,
And
and a gorge.
Oh, that's-
wow.
that's a
yeah,
lot.
Okay.
Well, the Dark Reapers and Fire Dragons in the next game will be able to battle focus 6 for a CP and fire and fit as much as they want. Don't know if that'll help, but
Yeah.
it's a thing.
And they'll have
Oh,
command points to do it.
I think that even with my attempts
whoever wrote
to,
that stupid Phoenix Lord list should be shot.
in order to, and even with my attempt to make Sean's list worse by taking a bunch of Aspect Warriors in and putting more Wraith Blades, even with that, I still think the Orcs are in some trouble here. I think Sean's just nodding off camera.
I'm betting on Sean.
You betting on
I'm
Sean?
betting on Sean. I'll do it.
Oh god.
So maybe
secret is to
you
do
should,
mortals on the charge.
Sean. Maybe you should put him on a clock because your army plays so much faster than his.
I do roll a lot of dice.
Okay. So we have an hour. And then that's gonna happen, and at the same time that's gonna happen, we've got Zach and John Lennon playing.
Yes.
And Zach wants to work with Thousand Suns updated for the new meta. And you're gonna play Chaos Knights?
I actually haven't decided yet. I wrote a Chaos Knight list and a Sisters of Battle list, and I was gonna flip a coin in the next hour. But now,
Why don't we let them decide?
I think we will. I think we
Okay.
let them choose.
So audience, tell us, do you want Zach to have to play Chaos Knights or Sisters with his mono Thousand Suns? Duplicity?
It's only kind of mono. I got Knights, but yeah, it's
Okay.
Duplicity, 20 Terminators, and 3 Knights.
Okay, 3
Well, if
Hellbirds.
you've got Chaos Knights, let's throw Knights in the mix.
I want to be clear, that's the list that I keep saying is great, and Chuck literally thought was not last weekend, so I'm really curious about this. Because Chuck knows more about Chaos than I do.
But when you have to take to the last, it sucks because you get.
Not to worry.
Oh.
Don't even worry about that
We have
one
a
anymore.
different secondary for getting.
Oh.
Okay.
I actually haven't read the new secondaries for Thousand Suns.
No.
Don't worry, Burn Empires is still flaming garbage.
Someone tell us what the good secondary is for Thousand Suns so we can tell the people.
So if you have a Psyker, Wrath of Magnus, that was supposed to get worse, but actually got better if you know what you're doing. And then Mutate Landscape is the one you do on an objective to get 3 points. It's kind of like Strategic Scan, but from our book.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah.
Wrath of Magnus. Every turn, cast more of a category of psychic powers. So if you more maledictions, more
blessings, more warp fires.
More warp fires. You get a point for each of those categories.
Oh.
Which is, into somebody
if you know what you're doing, that's like, here's 3 points a turn. Thanks.
And Smite isn't a category, right?
It is not.
All right, so they can't hear Chuck. So what Chuck is saying is that for Wrath of Magnus, each turn you need to cast more of one particular kind. Warp Fire, Malediction, I think were the words you said.
Yeah.
A blessing. And so you need to cast more of that one, and so it's just 3 points a turn if you plan your powers well.
Yeah, well, that's actually really good. You don't have to do damage anymore.
You can hide.
I used to hide and like deny 2 turns of Wrath of Magnus by not giving them any like infantry to smite, and just like letting them smite a transport with a feel no pain and be like, it's alive.
Someone make it clear to these people that they need to stop talking as they walk up behind them.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure the people walking up the driveway know that we're talking on stream right now.
Yeah, I suspect that they do. They probably know that. All right, so here's what we're going to do with the 45 minutes we have left. In a few minutes, we'll give something away.
Ooh.
Zach, pick 2 things from that table for me to give away. What are they?
How about some Zangors?
Oh, some Zangors for sure, because we're talking Thousand Suns.
How about some Retributors?
Okay.
Oh, my favorites.
You like Retributors? Oh, yeah, they're sisters. The name Retributor sounds like it could be in any of 5 different armies.
It does sound like it could be any.
I was thinking he was about to hand me Space Marines.
That's a new Primaris unit?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, there's a Stormcast Retributor, I think. So, like, at that point, it could be a Space Marine.
Well, the Stormcast, the Retributor, is the guy with the giant hammer, I think.
I have no idea.
No, it is. It's the big 2-handed weapon guy, which is super dope. Well, when that was what was good for Stormcast, it was really cool. So excellent. I painted those. Oh. I played Stormcast Eternals.
Oh, I never played Stormcast.
And then we've got Zangors here, and looking at them up close and not wildly kitbashed by Chuck, they are pretty cool. I'm not.
When not kitbashed by Chuck.
That's not really the way I meant that to come out. I more meant that Chuck stuff looks really cool and is different than the boxes, so I don't know what they actually look like.
They're all cool.
They are all cool in their own way. They're all cool in their own way. All right, here's what we're going to do for the next 45 minutes. We're going to talk about each faction, and we're going to talk about the points changes and the rules changes, but more what we think is going to happen, whether that's going to be good, what they're going to struggle against. And we're going to let the audience pick where we start. Someone yell at a faction. Someone in the room.
Space Wolves.
Space Wolves.
All right, well, I think what is actually happening with Space Wolves is that they're no longer a successor chapter. Remember, I like to make jokes that you don't play Space Wolves, you play Codex Space, because there's no wolves in it.
Okay.
And there's really no reason to take a lot of like the cheap wolf units, because you don't need Stranglehold, you don't need Oath of Moment, because now you need Core with all the secondary changes. But also, a lot of the Space Wolf characters, the named characters got cheaper, and named characters went up in stock because they don't cost command points. And if you want a cool character, you're allowed 1, and then the rest of them need to have a fancy name.
Right.
So I think
the fancier the better, honestly.
The fancier the better.
Yeah.
And the fact that Space
especially
Wolves
if your name is Abaddon,
more named characters than Harlequins have data sheets. I'm checking in my head, but I'm pretty sure it's close. It's like 7 to 8. So Space Wolves actually have a ton of named characters, and a lot of them went down. I think that'll help them a lot, and enough that you might start taking Space Wolves over Space Wolf successors, which is good. Like it is kind of a little bit weird when everyone is the same successor chapter. I like custom chapters, but it's weird when it's the best thing.
Wolfen have Armor of Contempt?
Yeah, they don't have armor saves, so I don't care. But yeah, no, they get armor saves. They didn't go down at all. I don't think the unique Space Wolf units went down, but the unique Space Wolf characters all went down. And that will probably just help them out.
If you had to play...
went down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the Storm Wolf.
I kind of think all planes are bad.
I definitely think those planes are bad.
Yes, okay.
I can think of a couple good ones.
Admech?
Sunshark. Sunshark, the Tau Sunshark is crazy good, and there's no reason they weren't already in lists. The only reason we weren't running them is because they were out of stock with our sponsor, but they're already in the mail, so it's coming. And they would have made the last
list. Did they go down?
They did not go up, and that is the best thing a Tau player can ask for right now.
Yeah, I think Noah said that his list went up. Is Noah in here? Yep. I think
240 points.
240 points for Noah, but Danny was like 340.
Yeah, I think Seth Oster may have pushed 400.
Oh,
I think he may have cleared 400. He went up more than I did.
I've never had a list go up 400. That's a lot. Like
I haven't either. Yeah.
I remember the Yanari hammer on me was like 300. But
I mean, Breviathan went down 600 points when they moved my army to Legends.
All right, so if you were gonna let LVO's tomorrow.
Yep.
And you have to play Space Marines, but you can't play Blood Angels.
Okay. Honestly, I think I would go ahead and do Deathwatch. And I would try to do it very off-meta, Army of Renown, cool. I think that...
Oh, do you actually like the Army of Renown?
I do.
Because you were not sure when it first came out.
I was not.
I asked you what you thought, and you're like, I have no idea.
That was an
It is very complicated.
It's very complicated, and I've watched more patient people than myself do a lot of games with it. And that's how I've decided to be a fun army to get a lot of reps with. So if I had to submit my list tomorrow, I would submit the list and then figure out how it plays afterwards.
Okay. I would just, if I was going to take Deathwatch to LVO tomorrow, I would just copy Fred Fortman's list and then ask him to teach me how to play it. Because there's no way I'm going to come up with better Deathwatch tech than Fred's got. We'll have you on. We'll have you come talk Deathwatch at some point this weekend. We'll have a special Deathwatch conversation. I have not played them, and when I say that, I mean either direction.
Yeah.
I've played hundreds of tournament games of 8th and 9th edition 40k, and I've never played against Deathwatch.
They're the most unconventional Space Marine chapter. I mean, I've had a very good time playing them before, so it'd be fun to take that army again.
Oh, I did play against Deathwatch in a 2 versus 2 game at Renegade Open with Chuck, and it was against Ganyo.
It was like an edition ago, right?
Yeah, it was.
An edition and a codex ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
But that's what I could come up with.
All right, fair enough. It's a little different now.
Yeah, I would imagine. But Fred's here. Maybe he'll school me on it.
It says 440.
Oh,
440 for
that is the most I can remember a list ever going up after a nerf.
On my Blight Hollows were 360. I felt real bad.
Early 8th, there were a couple notable ones.
He's remembering he played the Blight Hauler spam.
It was 5 days before Hammer Out Cancer. And he was like, sorry about your luck.
Yeah. So his list went up like 400 points, and so I gave him that guard list that you made to play.
Right.
That's that story.
I remember
and then
that.
he went through, and then he lost early, and then went to the losers bracket, and then fought all the way back up to face me in the finals.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I played White Scars, which John and I were both very excited about at that time.
Because I just wrote both the lists.
Yeah.
This is really John playing John. We're just here.
Yeah, we're just helping out. All right, so we need another faction to talk about that's not a Space Marine.
Has the chat contributed any favorites?
Chat has not given us a pick. How about Tyranids? Was it enough?
I definitely think it was enough. I do not look at these changes and worry that they left Tyranids too OP.
Yeah, it's because it's a lot of different.
Yeah.
The thing is that it's not any one part of their game that got nerfed.
They were very thorough.
Yes.
Impressively thorough.
Yeah. Like the Tyranids are sore. Like their muscles they didn't know they had are sore. Like they did a really thorough working. Mm-hmm. I think the point that you and Tyler were making, or Bartel were making earlier that I hadn't thought about is Tyranids also got nerfed really hard by the secondaries.
Yeah, Tyranid secondaries are rough.
And so, that's like an additional nerf because they already were going to be in a situation where they weren't going to be sure what secondaries to take.
Yep, and it forces a play style, and predictable Tyranids are much easier to beat.
Yeah, because if we're back to what we were before, where we have to rush at you.
Yeah, people know that's coming. They can set up shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when the Hive Tyrant was yo-yoing and nothing else was in line of sight, you're like, oh.
But all this said, that book is still the most bonkers data sheets in the game.
They're pretty solid, yeah.
Yeah, and the
points helped out a lot.
But even with the points, a bunch of that stuff's still undercosted.
Oh yeah.
30 points for a Pyrovore, 40 points for a Pyrovore, fine.
Yeah, still pretty solid Pyrovore right there.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Tyranids dropping into obscurity. Not worried about that at all. I don't think that they went that hard on it. I think they're gonna fall very comfortably in that 47 to 53% win rate. I would honestly guess they're gonna fall bang on 50 after this.
Oh wow.
Which would mean that they did a good job if that's where they fall. So
wow. So what do you think will be winning for them? What do you think the list will look like? Will they still have the Flyrant?
I don't think there will be the list anymore.
Okay.
I think Forces will be what a couple of the top players switch to.
Okay.
Because the fact that you can lose your Synaptic Imperatives so easily because if your opponent kills a model, you lose your entire monofaction bonus, means that Tyranid players will just adopt to get good secondaries and not have the monofaction bonus anyway. And adding in some Gene Circle really shores up the fact that you don't have secondaries in a row.
Oh yeah, Acolyte's Deep Strike for free.
Acolyte's Deep Strike for free. You spend 2 CP to get him in the list, but you don't spend any CP after that.
Yeah, that's true.
Genestealer Cult don't need any strats, relics, or warrior traits because they're all kind of bad.
That actually sounds fun. That list sounds fun.
Yeah, you could do a forces like Kraken list that also just has a couple of acolytes spooking around.
Okay. Well, you know, the only guy that came to this tournament ready to play forces, I think, is Josh.
I 100% believe that's true.
So, not that we don't have Genestealer Cult for everyone to use.
I think you can make that adaptation pretty quickly.
Yeah, I do own some Genestealer Cult, but I have weird gaps, but I don't have weird gaps that would matter.
Yeah, no, I think you just need a Psyker and a couple acolytes, and then you go 2 CP deeper into the hole.
What if is there any part of you that wants to play with both kinds of Genestealers?
Yes, Pure Strain. Well, no, actually, no. I don't want to use Genestealers at all.
Okay.
I want to use Pure Strains though.
Yes.
It would be like a patrol of like a Psyker, 2 units of acolytes, 2 units of Pure Strains. Call it a day.
Yeah, I like the one in the truck and then the one that runs forward on the first turn.
Oh
like,
yeah, 1 truck.
Yeah, 1 truck.
I like trucks.
All right, so that's the GSC portion, and then what's in the Tyranid portion?
I think I would probably go with like just 2 Neurothropes. Some Raveners.
I love Neurothropes.
I love Neurothropes.
I love Raveners.
I would actually take 2 Harpies with Barb Strangler still.
Oh.
Yeah, a Barb Strangler Harpy is only 5 points more than an old Venom Harpy was.
Okay.
And it's worse, but it's not that much worse, honestly. You get 2 D3 more shots, and they're still a good profile. It's 8/2/2.
Okay.
So I would still take a Harpy, and it helps the engage plan a lot early turns.
Strength 8, so we don't have that Orc problem we were talking about earlier.
Shotgun problem. Well, that's about to be meta after it wins the bad RTT.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
When they see Sean Naden just beating people with the Gorkonauts, I'm gonna have to be ready.
I want Sean to win both tournaments with Orcs. Because I think
I'm so eligible for one, so I don't say I want that to happen.
But I think the internet would melt down, Sean.
It would be pretty fun.
The internet would melt down. Like you already have a reputation for winning with BS that people don't think is good. Like that, this would be more than any Eldar BS you've ever won with.
It should be pointed out, Orcs have pointy ears.
Yes, he's pointed it out many times now.
I'll listen.
Yeah. All right, so Captain USA over there in the corner.
Chat would like to know about Necrons.
Oh my God, so good.
What if everything was just core?
I'm kind of mad I sold my Necron army because I think Necron Gunline is now a very entertaining thing to put on stream.
There's going to be a lot of good Necron stuff now. Like the entire army got so much better.
Yeah.
The Necron arcing lot that just heals 2 wounds a turn now, army wide, and has rerolls and +1s to hit. It's like, wow, that's
the Silent King. The Silent King can make everything reroll, right?
Yeah, sure does. And he does it for cheaper than before. He went down 20 points.
Oh, of course he did.
Yeah,
why wouldn't?
I mean, Necrons needed a points drop, so I won't complain about that.
No, well. Also, Necrons have been bad for so long that I would need them to be. They would need to be offensive for a while before I got mad.
Yeah,
right.
No,
they would need to be in the 70% win rate, like where the real BS is, and they'd have to be there for like months. Like,
if they're a top tier army for a little bit, I'm not mad.
No,
for Tyranid level or old the Tyranid level, we don't want that. But I don't think they got that crazy. But they're really good.
Yeah.
Their
secondaries are really good. I already think that Machinations one, where they can do it on all their objectives at the same time, I already thought that was great. And then they made the other one better, right, Chuck?
Yeah, they're all.
I think there's 3 very good Necron secondaries now.
Yeah. Wow.
What a world.
As a side tangent, I love what they did with the secondaries, and I like Strangle being gone, To the Last being gone. I like all those changes, and I like it being harder to pick secondaries to get 45 points. I think that's great. Yeah. What I don't like is I still feel like there's pretty big imbalance between what each faction gets.
Yes.
And that already bothered me. And what I call that is the Oath of Moment frustration. Because Oath of Moment...
You remember when that was a good secondary?
Yeah, because Oath of Moment was so bonkers that every Marine player took it in every game for a year. And at that time, the Necron book came out, and they were all perceived to be bad. And like every book that came out, all the secondaries were perceived to be bad compared to that one.
Yeah.
It turns out, people also said that about Drukhari, though, and Herd the Prey was not bad.
Yeah.
Did you know one also Herd the Prey?
They do. Herd Environment is.
But they're not as good at it.
This is true.
Yeah.
It's that ability to kill every single model on your half the table.
It's the speed difference, yeah. Interestingly, I don't know what happened to Drukhari other than Herd the Prey got nerfed.
Herded Prey I barely got nerfed, frankly, because you can now score at turn 1. It's worth less points every turn, but you can score at turn 1, which means it is a very small nerf. But both of their killing secondaries got better. If I'm being honest, I don't remember the exact verbiage on it. But I know that they have 2 different secondaries that involve stabbing people with knives, and they now get more points for stabbing people with knives.
I do like being stabby sometimes.
Yeah, if you're going to be a stabby elf, it's a better time to do it now than it was last week.
Did they get any points changes?
No, Witches down 1 point, and the Forge Roll the Tantalus went down 30.
Okay. I want to be clear, there's a Tantalus in the garage. So if anybody's excited about this, I do have a party bus. Also, and Sean may not know this, but I played a ridiculous number of witches when Drukhari were good. I know you're a witch fan as well. I know. How many did I play? I had 60, I think, or 50, something like that.
I definitely played against 60.
Yeah. So I played a lot of witches, and I really liked them. And then they went up in points, and I was sad. But they split the difference basically, right?
They were 10. And
then they went to 12, and now they're 11.
That feels like probably where they should have been last time, so it'll be good to see how they situate here.
I have this sudden urge to put some Drew Harleys on the table.
I mean, put witches in the party bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do witches like Armor of Contempt?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Bloodbreads probably can tolerate it.
One of the reasons I stopped playing Drukhari is that the AP on their close combat was so depressing.
Well, this may be the scenario where you take that custom cult where you get your extra AP for Blade Artists on 5s instead of 6s.
Oh.
If you combo that with some Bloodbreads, you really don't actually care about Armor Contempt anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So it could be interesting. Better than spending CP on straps to try to
get it's the Hellions that I finally, playing into Custodes, I was just like, well, this is terrible.
Oh, yeah. No, that's... yeah. When Custodian's book came out, like on my first game with it, I spent like 2 turns pre-measuring Hellion charge ranges. When I finally accidentally let them get in charge range, 10 went in, didn't kill a model, and I'm like, they spent 2 turns hiding from this? And then the army went in the center.
In our game, Chuck ended up getting me into the sword and board Custode guys with Hellions, which is like...
Bounce.
Yeah, they're just like, this isn't working. Don't worry, we're durable. Oh, no, we're not. So we talked a lot about Eldar earlier. My biggest concern about Eldar is secondaries. Like, I don't think their book secondaries, even with the changes, are that amazing. They're good. They're not. They have some in there, but that'll be the real question. Like, people are messaging me asking me if my Oathway list works updated. I think it does, because my Oathway list can absolutely just unga-bunga people, so it will work. Yeah. But I don't, in the really close matchup where the opponent doesn't have to let you see them. Yep. I have no idea what that list does.
If your opponent has better secondaries than you and you have to be the one to step out.
Yes.
Eldar don't like being the first one to step out.
Yep, that's the problem. That's the issue.
It'll be interesting.
Which is why I so want Hank's list to be good. Sean, do you know what our boy Hank's playing for Craftworld? Sam Hain, 3 units of Shining Spears. Let's go. Yeah, that makes you happy. Yeah. Sean's happy now.
Any chance you can get some
and you know what I said? If that's good, I'm going to hug you. Because I will play that. I have that already. I will play that. So... he did take out one of the XR upgrades. I was really happy when he had all 3 of the Shining Spear.
Squads and all 3 upgrades.
Yeah. I guess one of them went up in points though. The 9-inch one went up.
Yeah, I
think
it went up like 5.
And I guess he found that insulting. So
I guess.
Yeah. So okay, let's take a pause here and give some stuff away. We're giving away some Zangors.
Ooh.
Sean Naden, I need a number between 1 and 238.
176.
Okay. Was a good choice. That's going to be Dave Robson.
Ooh,
Dave is a Necron player, but maybe he wants some Zangors.
Everyone needs more Zangors.
Is that true, Chuck?
I do not need more Zangors.
How much? There was a time where Chuck took a giant box of Zangors back to the store.
Yeah, I'm down to a mere 60.
All right, John, it's time for the Art of War sub.
Ooh, excellent.
Pick a number.
I get to pick the number for that?
Yep.
Between 1 and 236?
Yep.
I'm gonna reward some people. 236.
Okay. That's Kumpi Jalumpi.
Thank you and congratulations.
I can't. Let's see. Art of War sub. Okay. And Kumpe, you can win other things as well. The Art of War is a bonus thing you're winning.
Woo!
Now we have Sisters of Battle to give away. Let's see. We'll have Tyler pick a number between 1 and 238.
3.
Ooh, smart.
Beginning, got the end.
So we will. Someone named Det has won this. It says DET. Det.
Congratulations to Det.
Det.
Thank you so much for your support, of course.
No, there's too many good jokes.
Okay, all right.
I have a lot of debt. No. You think this pays back the debt? There's a lot that we can go with here, but I don't think Det is his actual name. So like, I don't feel like we're being mean. Like, I'm not going to make any jokes about Kumpei's name because that could just be his name. I don't know. There's a way to pronounce this name that is very inappropriate, and it also could be that that's what it is.
I can't read the text, so I'll simply trust you.
Okay. All right, we gave some things away. Donate. We have lots more stuff to give away. Next up, we'll give away some more stuff from this pile.
There's a Celestine in here?
There's a Celestine.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what a gladiator does?
That gladiator has been through 3 charity hammers. That gladiator
Oh.
has been through 3 charity hammers.
It is not.
You know what?
There is a Morgan Ball.
Oh, that's good.
Morgan Ball.
Yeah.
I own 2 gladiators, so I know what they do.
We've got some Admech.
Yeah.
They go down 15 points.
So here's what we're gonna do. We don't have a prize for who donates the top donation. Last year we did. It was a Adam Abramowitz Team USA jersey.
Oh.
And there was questions about whether it should be worn first.
Mm-hmm. I would prefer that.
You want it to smell like Adam?
It helps me sleep at night.
All right then. So we don't have one for this year, but here's what I think we'll do. The objective markers are dope. You've played on them already. They're great,
Yes,
right?
I love them.
Yes. So we're going to take a set of objective markers, and everyone here will sign them. All of us. And those will go to the person that donates the largest donation.
This is a nice little bonus of thank you.
That's a great one.
That's exactly right. Currently, no, I don't think I should say what the largest donation is. I think it's more fun that way.
I think it's more fun as a secret.
Yeah, I think so too. Currently, someone named Dave is winning.
Ooh, go Dave.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, we got another 30 minutes before we move on to the next round. This is why we have this, by the way, is so if the streams go short, because, Sean rolls
what happens
hard.
when you invite Sean, you know?
Yeah, because Sean always plays his games quickly, as we established earlier.
Well, this just means that Tyranids are underpowered.
My GT games will take a lot longer.
Yeah, hopefully GW saw that game and they nerf Morganauts and Gorgonauts, and they buff Termagants.
Hopefully, I mean, that was old Tyranids, that Tyranid list probably just went up in points.
Yeah, it probably did.
It went up 20 points because of Swarmlord.
Yeah. Swarmlord went up 20 points? He didn't need that.
He did not, but he did.
God, he's poor Swarmlord.
Sorry, they kind of called what we were about to switch to. And they did get it pretty right, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Like, I did get the Swarmlord.
And we're supposed to pretend that you had nothing to do with this.
No, because I would not have been playtesting Swarmlord for my own devious ends if I thought he was going to go up. I was like, oh, they're going to nerf the Hive Tyrant, but they're not going to nerf the Swarmlord. Let's start playing with him. I was wrong.
Okay.
Countless years of academy training wasted.
Yeah. All right. You should have had a plan generations in the making that could have stopped that from happening.
Well, now we're going to forces. Don't worry.
Okay. We talked about bugs. We talked about elves. We didn't talk about harlequins.
We did not talk about the clown elves.
I already personally don't like the way that they play. So I've already stopped playing them even for fun.
I kind of like disrespecting harlequins by running straight at them and saying, what? Like really loudly.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's like
their infantry doesn't do anything.
That was the thing, was I always charge at them with Armor of Contempt and be like, you're not going to do it fast enough.
Yeah.
And then just like hope that I'm right. It's very embarrassing when I'm wrong, but it usually works.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like we talked about earlier, I don't value the light change very much because I just don't. Having played a bunch of light harlequins, I find that the
hit trans hitman, as we call it.
Yeah, it's just not. It's good, but it's not amazing.
Mm-hmm. I've actually liked it quite a lot because a lot of people were bringing pluses to hit, and there's different times where ballistic skill 2 matters a lot.
Sure.
Like Tau commanders. Also, the stupid. Honestly, it helped a ton against Tau.
Okay.
Because Tau tried to not get within 18 of you, and you stopped worrying about their modifiers at a point because they're like, not only like.
I just hide too much. That's all this is.
Well, Harlequins can run them down, but yeah, that was back in the day.
Yeah. But it being longer range is better.
Yeah, definitely helps everyone else for getting up close.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm happy with that change. I think that was a very good one.
Okay, and then the other change for that, the only other change was the dark change.
Yeah, light, dark, and then laughing dice.
Oh yeah, oh god, the laughing dice change is brutal. But someone pointed out earlier that in a game where you don't get any CP, having 5 laughing dice is a huge advantage.
Yeah, just 25 CP rolls a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have less than that.
But I agree with you that it's too heavy-handed.
Yeah, there's probably a middle ground somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
But as we've seen with Admech, they're willing to hit hard and just reel it back a little bit.
Sure.
So it's entirely possible that if Harlequins go from 60% win rate to 40% win rate, that maybe in 3 to 6 months they go to 2+ laughing dice instead of the old 3 or the current 0. And of course, if the last time Harlequins got nerfed, we're like, oh, they're bad now, and then they very much were not. So maybe they'll still be fine now, and we'll be wrong.
Yeah. You know what? This conversation we're having?
Yeah.
They should pull it out of this and make it a thing that our channels can use.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. So I said that out loud because that's how my brain works. If I don't say it out loud, it doesn't happen. But now that I've said it out loud and it's existed into the...
Oh, it's been put out there. It's happening now.
I almost brought the boom. Okay.
You almost dropped the mic.
Tyler's abused at least. All right. Light up the stage. Okay. With candles, because as we talked about earlier, vehicles should have candles on them.
Vehicles should have candles on them. It's always how faithful I am.
All right. So I think that Harlequins are just gonna slowly drop off.
I think they're going to drop off in popularity. So definitely quantity of Harlequin players I expect to actually plummet. But I honestly think Harlequins are still pretty good.
Okay.
Like they still play the primary very well, and their secondaries actually got a little bit better in the Nephilim pack. So they do secondaries better than Craftworld. And they lost a little bit of durability, but they're still relatively good at hiding. They're good at playing the primary, and they're fast. And there are other ways to make them a good combat army. And this what I actually might do is it might make Twilight be seen a little bit more. Yeah. Because Twilight gives you access to the CP regeneration, which will help mitigate the luck of the Laughing God nerf. And then they get volume of attacks. And volume of attacks it's not bad,
No, yeah, they've always been really good at the mission. My issue with Harlequins is that I think my problem with Harlequins is that I don't like playing them.
Oh,
because I know. No, I'm just showing some self-awareness. I think you're right. I think they're still just fine. I think I'm being unnecessarily mean to them because they aren't violent enough for me. They don't like, if you don't want to play the mission and play a KG game with, like, they aren't good at I'm just going to wreck my opponent.
Yeah.
I don't think. Unless your opponent is playing Imperial Guard.
I mean, I actually have 9 Void Weavers to sell you if you...
I also have 9 Void Weavers if you're interested in them. My 9 Void Weavers are new in box, because I was just slow enough.
Well, if you haven't seen the meme, mine are painted purple.
Okay.
But Colin, how many Ridge Runners do you have?
I only own 6 Ridge Runners.
Really? That's not 9.
By the way, I didn't own Ridge Runners for the entire time they were good, despite my involvement in making them good and making them popular.
Yeah.
Because I was playing Eldar at that time, so I didn't spend the ridiculous amount of money that they cost.
Yeah, I did.
And you had fun with them.
I really did.
Yeah, we took them to the Canhammer teams.
One, yeah.
That was really fun. That was sadly the only tournament I got to play 9 Vibro Cannons at.
That was the only tournament I got to play the Ridge Runners at.
9 Vibro Cannons was so unacceptably not okay, and I didn't catch it until the end.
Yeah.
So sad. Okay. Who should we talk about next? We got lots more time. Orks?
Orks. Orks deserve a little talking.
Well, especially because of the Gorkanaut and Morkanaut meta.
Oh my god! I mean, Orks are. I think Orks are winning our tournament right now.
Yeah, I know. So far,
it's a terrible tournament.
Yeah, they're the least of the most awful.
Yeah,
I don't.
The least awful.
Those are the second and third games of Orks I played.
Guys putting in work.
Yeah, it's just he's.
I think we already talked about like the data slate WOG changes, but I don't think we talked about the points changes.
No, I don't know them.
It's good universally. It's not like one thing got crazy cheap, but kill rigs went down 20.
Okay.
I don't know how much rocket trucks cost before, but they're like 115 now. I don't know if they went down or not. But the war boss on Squig went down I think 10 points, which is probably necessary.
You could take 3 1s of rocket trucks, which is interesting, or 3 1s of buggies in general. That's cool.
Yeah, that was a good data slate change.
Yeah.
And then I think every infantry unit that wasn't Meganobs went down 1 point.
Okay.
And like 1 point on everything isn't a huge deal, but when it's on everything, if it gets you an extra unit in there, an extra unit and some good rules, I think Orks could be in an interesting spot.
Well, we have Chuck in the room, and he played triple kill rig this morning into Thousand Suns. Oh, you played it twice.
Yeah.
Oh.
It goes real quick.
Okay.
Chuck is giving the hand shot. The kill rig went down 20. I actually forgot to mention that.
No, you said that.
I did. Never mind.
Yeah, so the kill rig, so Chuck said they still get in each other's way. They're still not quite durable enough. 2 kill rigs and 1 million infantry is probably the way. Maybe, if you're going to play kill rigs.
I don't mind bone breaker. Is it bone breakers? Is it that battle breaker? Oh, okay, cool.
Can we put Mega Knobs in kill?
No, negative. Only the beast snaggers.
Those kill rigs would be way scarier if Mega Knobs fell out of them.
Zach's questioning why Meganobs can't just jump out of them. That would make them better. I do love me some Meganobs. Every time, like, not only do I like what they do in an orc list, but I love how those chonky boys coming at me after all of the orcs with no armor get murdered. These guys that literally are wearing giant trash cans are coming at you. It's great. I love those guys.
Very orky.
I'll have 8 this week.
Meganobs coming in for Sean?
You got some Meganogs too, Chuck?
Right. List revisions put me about 6.
Okay.
Lucas had how many Mega Knobs last weekend? Like 3 squads of 5 or something?
Oh, dang.
You may not know this story, but as Anthony was wrecking everyone through the tournament, Anthony got stopped by Lucas. Because the Blood Angels went to the middle of the table, and the Orcs did nothing. Then the Blood Angels came closer and killed a tiny bit of Orcs, and the Orcs just went through the Blood Angels and they all died. And it was like everybody's like, Anthony's in, everybody came over to my table and was like, Anthony's in Lucas's deployment zone, the Orcs are getting wrecked. And then they came back and said all of the Blood Angels died. Yeah, because Orcs are really good in close combat, it turns out.
Turns out, still. Who
would have thought?
Yeah. So that's Orcs. Well, how are their secondaries? Are they good?
They're definitely improved. I think they got so the big one that everyone lost was Stranglehold, and they got a good one in that category, where they get a point for every table quarter that they have 10 infantry models in.
Oh.
But then like 2 Gretchen at 4 points per model, cheapest model in the game. Just, 80 points of Gretchen, 2 table quarters just gets you an 8. And then if you happen to go into another table quarter by virtue of being Orcs, you just get more points. Like, yeah.
Get the good bits is also in and rods and.
Oh, okay, even better. So action you complete in your turn. You just action objective get 3 points, is it, or?
Yep.
Yeah. And you just
40 point units at it.
Yeah, toss 40-point units at it.
Huh, neat. I think that there's certain factions, we've talked about this a number of times in our friendship. Yep. There's certain factions that when they're good makes all of 40k more fun. Mm-hmm. And I think Orcs is one of them.
Yes.
Because Orc armies are cool. Like the hobbyists make them crazy neat.
Yep.
Orc players are very enthusiastic. And also they're a combat army, which is fun. But they die, Sean, is the big thing. Really? People don't like losing to Custodes because the Custodes don't die, right? Like when people bounce off your Custodes army, Mitchell, it's frustrating for your opponent.
I die really well, all right?
Now, yes, but there was a time not that long ago that you did not. But the difference, and Chuck has pointed this out a lot, that Orc players win sportsmanship awards while winning tournaments. Because they lose 90 models while beating you, and that's fun for the opponent. Yeah. I think one of the reasons Drukhari was more fun to play against than the immediate after that of...
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Hold on. I fell apart on my example there. I was going to say, I would think that Drukhari was more fun to play against than the stuff that came after it, like Custodes, like Tau, where you weren't engaging, you weren't ever killing anything.
Oh, the Ranger spam?
When you couldn't kill the Rangers?
Oh, yeah. They just didn't die. Yeah. All I'm saying is that when you get to kill your opponent's models, it's fun. And I played a number of games of Drukhari where my opponent was just blowing my crap up. I was so far ahead on points it didn't matter, right? But they were blowing all my crap up, and they were having a great time killing a bunch of T3 with no armor save, right?
Yeah. Like, Orcs are a problem when they are a army, and they have several times in several editions been, like when Luda's 7th or 8th edition, like, we're just oppressive, or the
shock attack guns.
Shock attack guns.
Well, honestly, and the
buggies and stuff.
The buggy thing was miserable.
Oh yeah, awful.
That was one of the few times where there was a gimmick list in the game that I was just belligerently mad to play against. Like it just infuriated me.
You can't tell him that.
Chad wants to know.
I think I got that one nerfed pretty quick.
Yeah.
Chad wants to know: are Imperial Knights any good?
Yes, 100% think so. If you're, I can play Imperial Knights against you.
I've played a lot of Imperial Knights. I'd be happy to play against it.
We can do it. I think Imperial Knights are great. I think that they're like a really good army that's not just immediately obvious blow people off the table, but there's a lot of good combos in there that make it interesting.
What's it look like for you?
2 big knights, 6 small knights. Everybody has guns. It is unfortunately, I think, best as a gun line, which makes it a little bit less fun to play with for me.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it is such a gun line that people don't get to have games against it.
Okay.
And it has to be pushing forward to be effective. That's a lot better than a gun line that has to sit back to be effective.
Okay.
Their secondaries, their bookstakers were always good.
Yeah.
And you just never saw some of them. I think being able to there will be times you take all 3 from the book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, their secondaries are much improved because you can take all 3 of them now. Where it was like you took one and then you took like grind them down and stranglehold. Now that you can just take all the knight secondary, it's like, oh, they actually have a good secondary game now.
That's a good point.
And there's Knight Strangle, which is comparable enough to Strangle.
Yeah.
Are they better or worse than Chaos Knights?
I think that Imperial Knights actually have a higher ceiling than Chaos Knights, but Chaos Knights have a much higher floor.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's very fun and easy to take a good Chaos Knights list and like just go be a big robot at someone. And very fun game, and honestly most of the robots die because they're running at you screaming. But pretty easy to play Chaos Knights and have a good solid record out of it.
I haven't played against them yet, so I can't really weigh in on that.
Yeah.
I want to.
You can find ways to lose with Imperial Knights. You make all mistakes, so it's like,
yeah,
oh,
it doesn't take much for Imperial Knights to go downhill, but if you do it right, they're quite powerful, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so here's what I want to talk about now.
Yes.
Guard.
Oh, yeah. Armor Contempt Bane Blades with 0-up save.
So, Guard, just so we're clear, is the lowest win percentage army in the game right now.
Yeah, I think so.
No, it is. Like, at least by the numbers I've seen. Okay. So they gave them cool buffs when they released Armor of Contempt.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough.
Probably not.
Especially because, as you've pointed out many times, Space Marines is literally what they lose to already.
Yep.
So now they say, well, we really want you to take tanks. So we're going to go ahead and give them Armor of Contempt. Now, they gave it to Lehman Russ's. They also gave it to the Super Heavies?
They gave it to all vehicles.
Oh.
All Astra Militarum vehicles.
Oh.
The humble Orks.
Time to bust out the samples.
No, it's time to bust out some Chimeras.
Chimeras that last a little bit longer are a little bit better.
Yeah.
And Thorax Primes actually
They're
might be able to last now.
Because they also get Hammer of the Emperor.
Yeah. Now that Scions get the Hammer of the Emperor roll, so the 6 hit auto wound.
If you go full pure Scions, you still get the auto wound on hits.
Yep.
And
that's
and that's a big deal because you can go be like, "Hi, I'm Lambden Lions, AP3 everything."
Yeah. And
Let's
a
talk
lot
about
of
Armor
dice.
of Contempt. I have some contempt.
So Mitch is saying you take a bunch of Thorax Primes as Lambden Lions, and they have 1,000,000 shots that explode on 6s at AP3, and they all have Armor of Contempt.
Yeah.
I don't think they could have heard you. Well, that sounds like great fun.
Absolutely. I think Guard will be a lot more interesting to play with. We assume that there's a book coming soon because they've shown plastic models.
Yes.
So that's usually an indicator.
Here's my problem with playing Guard. And you said something similar to this earlier. Mm-hmm. I don't want to play an army that doesn't punch things. I would like to... ideally, I want to punch things, shoot things, and brain things.
Yeah.
But if I can't brain things, okay.
Yeah.
Shooting things and punching things is acceptable. Only shooting things sounds fun until I play it for 2 games. And then I'm done.
As a good substitute to punching things, I like shooting people at point blank.
Okay.
So I don't like sitting in my deployment zones and just shelling people.
No.
But if I can go move my Scion squads into deployment zones and shoot people at point blank range with a plasma gun, that is just as good as a power sword to me.
Okay.
Point blank shooting is combat.
They don't get to punch you back, so there's also that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, no one punches my Tyranids back either, so.
Yeah. Well, they try.
Punch you back with what?
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think? Do you think Guard is going to get better?
Yes, I think so, because this time around, the armies that got better around them aren't just direct hard counters. Now, they're probably doing fine into Guard because let's be real about it. But it's not like they made guard slightly better shooting while making the entire game more resilient to guard shooting. That didn't really help.
Right.
So I think guard will strictly get better. And you know what? Just once, I'm gonna think about taking a guard super heavy into Gene's Thorcult list.
Okay.
Because like, it's got armor, contempt, and
I have a request.
Yes.
Will you please play guard for one of your non-tournament games this weekend?
100%.
We have guard.
Yeah, I will write a guard list. I'm sure Mitch has at least one Thorax.
No, it's my guards here. I have Thoraxes.
Okay.
I have Lehman Russell.
You've got Thoraxes? Okay, I can get a guard game down.
I have 2 Thoraxes.
How long do I have till my next game?
15 minutes.
Not going to write that list right now. But by the end of the weekend, 100% I'll put a guard game in.
In fact, we should probably talk about what's going to happen next year. So it's 6 o'clock, almost. Some of us are going to eat dinner, but not the people that are going to go play 40K.
Oh yeah, no,
we don't need to eat.
No. No, we'll make it work. So the Bad RTT final is going to be on stream 1. That is the tall person table. What do you think of that tall person table? You like that?
Oh, it's perfect.
Should have gotten Brad up here for you.
Brad non-embarrassingly stood on a stool to play at that table. He owned that. He said, "This is not my fault. This is your fault." All right. So I'm just going to update this, and that's going to be Sean Naden playing against. Who's he playing against?
Hank.
Oh yes, that's right, the Eldar. We predicted that you will wreck him.
Okay.
That is our prediction. That was.
I'm not on board with this.
Okay, I have predicted that Hank will win. You have predicted that Sean will win.
I have.
Okay, great.
My list is not.
Yep.
But either way, I win because I wrote that list.
You did. Oh yeah, Sean's taking this one home. See, I didn't say the Orks would win. I said Sean would win.
All right. So and then
Sean's
on stream 2, John's gonna play something into
Zach,
Thousand Suns. Okay. Then on stream 3, it moves off of Outward Realms over to 40K, and we will have Hank playing there as well.
Ooh.
So that's going to go well. Who wants to play a game right now?
You have me both stream hosting and which is fine. But I was going to be playing Hank, but now Hank's
There's a Mitchell.
Yes.
There's a Mitchell right here.
Mitchell play.
Great, Mitchell will play. It turns out that Noah is in fact doing 3 different things at the same time.
Impressive.
He's a talented individual. Well done, sir.
Oh, no, Noah's doing 2 things and Hank's doing 2 things.
Yeah.
Fine. All right, so we're going to... Noah, don't worry about stream hosting. Go play Mitchell.
Yay! No, I have Knights in the car, the exact list you just described.
And I'm going to change the name off of this. It's no longer New Eldar versus New Tau.
Oh.
It will be New Tau, though.
Ooh. I'm excited to see New Tau.
Our New Tau, like the old Tau, just less?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is exactly what it is.
Which okay. The microphone can't handle all this. If you're going to play a game, go ahead and head to your tables, everybody. I will wrap this up. Thank you, John. That was very fun. Yeah, I think that was good content, actually.
I'll be back.
Actually, I didn't think it would be good content, but it was. So it's time for me to tell you guys about the importance of helping the sick children. I can't do it that serious. I'm sorry. Yeah, like we've talked about, every single dollar we raise goes to charity. I know that financially times are hard for a lot of people. If you can't afford it, we understand completely. I will say though, I know what hobby you play. This is a very expensive hobby. I'm sassing you now. Look at all that unbuilt product. No, okay, I'm being way too mean. Please help us out. We're trying to do a really good thing here. The people from Child's Play are very engaged. They absolutely love that we're doing this. I think tomorrow we're eating pizza from them, so that'll be good. All right. Do we have questions from the chat of any kind? Never mind, Tyler's fixing something, so that's not a fair question to ask right now. I don't have another really terrible joke that is appropriate to tell on tap. Earlier I told a very terrible joke, which they enjoyed. Chuck, come sit with me. What?
Need a little help.
I do need a little help. Ah, yes. Now I feel like I'm a completely normal-sized human.
Yep.
Yes, that's right.
Nothing out of the ordinary here.
Yeah, that's right. This is just, these chairs are actually very, very small.
Very small chairs. They are very small chairs.
Hey, look. It's the Boy King himself.
It is. I just wanted to point out on Sean's behalf that his unprecedented success with Gorkanauts will lead to him to play 4 games in a row with the 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. stream.
Okay.
So if anyone happens to volunteer for that, I'm sure Sean would appreciate getting food and or something.
Okay.
That's quite the punishment.
It is quite the punishment, and I believe he deserves it for what he did to poor Matt.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you deserved it. But just warning you about that now that because I talked to Sean said he'd prefer not to play 4 in a row if they can be avoided.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Tell him to play faster.
I think we should tell Alex McDougall to speed a little bit, and we can get him in here.
You're already playing, Alex.
9?
I know, but out on the schedule.
Oh, yeah, well.
Okay.
I'll do it again.
You're no longer playing him at 9 o'clock. You'll play someone else. It might be me.
Okay.
I'll have to decide if I'm in the mood for that. I might not be. But it's not Charity Hammer if I don't wreck John at some point.
Yeah. Well, you should do it. So should I play this orc list?
Which one?
It's one that Sean's winning so much with.
No. No, you should not. If you told me the Gorkonauts and Morkonauts are good, I would be excited. Now no
one's going to tell you that.
You played a tournament list with them, though.
Did I?
Yeah. Remember the one with Plains and the Gorkonaut, and we took it to that RTT in Tacoma?
Wow, I do not.
You come on now.
I do not remember.
You played against.
You know who I played against? I don't even remember having the army.
No, the game that was the most frustrating was you played against Drakari, and all of his venoms flew around the table and hid behind all the walls, and you couldn't see him with your.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, you had all vehicles. It was yes.
All right.
It was freebooters.
Oh yes, I do remember those days. That was a very, very short period of time.
You thought it was going to be really fun, and it was really incredibly fun against bad players.
I learned a really important thing from that army.
Okay.
I do not like it when my army tells me what I want to engage with. And freebooters are saying, hey, make sure you kill something small, and then you'll get your benefits, and then you can use benefits across the board. And I don't like that. Because if I don't want to engage the smaller thing, I learned that about myself. That's what freebooters taught me.
Okay. Now
that must be why I have those models painted that he's using right now.
Yeah.
I was like, I do have them. Here you go.
Well, that's why when Seth said he couldn't make it, that's why I said to you, I think you have most of this. And you said, I really don't. Those things haven't been good, and I was confused.
Oh, there's like another Gorkonaut, a couple of Mecha Dreads. There's all kinds of things I didn't have. So.
Okay, fair enough.
I had Chaos models that were the same size.
So are you a Chaos player or are you an Orc player?
Definitely a Chaos player.
Okay.
And also an Orc player.
Okay, but can you pick one? If you could only have one army?
I think the best explanation I've ever heard is I am definitely in a happy, healthy relationship with Orcs where we go out sometimes and it's wonderful and we really enjoy each other.
Okay.
And then I'm in this very desperate and evil relationship with Chaos, but we can't break up.
Okay.
But those both continue on.
Why can't you break up?
It's just, who would I be without Chaos there?
Okay. How many Orc tattoos do you have?
None.
How many Chaos tattoos do you have?
None. How many Imperium tattoos do I have?
Yeah.
1.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started with Space Wolves, got the tattoo. Got tired of being the bully who picked on nerds, so.
Yeah, fair enough. So you're gonna try to take some Orcs tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you don't know what?
I think I do.
Okay, let's talk about it.
All right, let's run through the list. I'm going to have Gaz.
Okay.
He's going to be in a Supreme Command, and then I will bring a Goth battalion. In that battalion, I will have a Beast Boss. He'll have a Head Wappa Skill Choppa, and the Brutal but Cunning, which makes him theoretically have good outfit. So far, I have missed every forage charge with him.
Completely different than Cunning, but brutal.
Oh yeah, no, that's a whole different. We don't even get into that.
Okay.
Different warlord trait. I think hilariously, I start with 4 CP.
Okay.
I also have a weird boy.
That's more than some earlier Orc lists that you started with.
I was actually having trouble spending my CP.
Okay.
In that last game.
All right.
The weird boy. He's there for Fist of Gork to give my characters +2 attacks. Right. And then I have 3 squads of Beast Nega boys and 2 squads of Grots now.
Ooh.
The Grots are there to help me get the good bits and to help me. I forget the ones. The table quarter one, where I can get. So I have some good secondary play. After that, I have three mans of Wighog Riders.
Okay.
And then I have.
I basically love those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're wonderful.
Yeah.
They're cheap and they're very powerful for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So then I have 3 kill rigs on top of that.
Oh, you are going to go 3 kill rigs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then beyond that, I have a truck and 6 truck boy Meganons. I think with the just that forward reach is really going to help with where the list currently is. Like I can rumble pretty well in the middle, but I need to be able to get around and attack and interact with what their second wave is going to be, or I get hit too hard that second time. So I think they're going to be a pretty integral piece to the whole thing's success.
All right, great.
All I got to do is find a truck. I'm good to go.
Do you know who you're playing first?
I do not.
Steve Trimble.
Steve Trimble. Well, we just played a game. Didn't go well for me. I'll try to have learned from that.
Okay. He has Tyranids.
Yeah.
Are they updated?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just played against, I think it was 28 Tyrannid Warriors.
Okay.
I killed a lot of them. Not 28 of them, but, 15 or so out.
An insufficient number of them.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, what is your name? No, that's something else. What is your quest? What do you think's going to happen in this 6 Phoenix Lords and Wraithblades and some Dark Reapers into those Orc vehicles?
I think the Orc vehicles have it. I've played a couple of games where you have ramshackle vehicles into people who just always minus off the ramshackles, and it is always growth.
Okay.
Buggies are one thing, but when you get into like Morkana, Gorkana, and the dreads and stuff, it's not acceptable that you can't take them down quickly.
Okay.
And he actually has quite a bit of beef, and all of that stuff punches.
I don't understand why people are not beating that list on the mission. It doesn't play missions. It doesn't do that. It just kills you.
What I've seen from the worst list is a lot of people focused on making sure that the list they built gave up a lot of secondaries. So if you can just pick, I'm gonna kill you, and come running at you.
Yeah.
That's that.
All right, that's fair. All right. Do you think that John will win with Imperial Knights versus Axe Thousand Sons?
I do think so, and that makes me sad.
I think that he will because he's John Lennon. I think that is a multiplier of effectiveness on the Imperial Knight Army.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
but
I would like to be John Lennon. No, I'm actually fine being me.
I think it's also difficult for Thousand Sons to take that many knights out. If he rushes you, it's very difficult. A lot of pressure.
Oh, okay.
But our new build has a lot of mortal wounds in it, so there's a flex there.
Okay. Now I don't know anything about what happens when Custodes and Tau fight each other.
Neither do I.
Okay.
We don't even have any experts here. We got nothing.
We got a Tyranid player. We got an Eldar player.
I suspect.
What do you think, Tyler Bortel? Is Mitchell Hunter's Custodes or Noah's Tau going to win?
This is like an actual.
Well, yeah.
I know that with they're playing new points and stuff.
Yeah.
With the changes, Plasma is really on the decline, and that was the main weapon that made Custodius really upset. I know that Noah has moved away from that into like double burst Sib. He's got to get right in Mitchell's face and hope that he fails saves. I think Mitchell might have the edge on that one.
So
okay. So Tyler said that effectively Plasma is what was so good from Tau into Custodes, and Plasma is the main thing that got nerfed. And so he's taking guns that are much shorter range. He's going to have to get up close to the Custodes. Tau does not want to be close to the Custodes.
I worked with Noah a little bit ago, and we backed him off that slightly.
Oh, okay.
He's halved the amount of plasma in his army.
Okay.
So he's still like
rounded up or rounded down. Normally GW specifies.
No, it's just straight up half.
Okay.
Basically, every crisis suit has a airburst, a Sib, and a plasma on it.
Okay.
So I think he has an AP problem. He doesn't have enough AP2 to really push those 4-up saves.
Okay.
But he is going to make him take a lot of 3-ups and do multiple damage with each of them. So.
Okay. All right.
I actually think that Mitchell has the upper hand here.
So guys, if we're not being clear enough, new rules are happening right now. This is where they're starting.
Yep.
We have the one more game to do of the Bad RTT, which frankly has been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it being over because I'm really excited. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it's time for the stupid Gorkanaut list to go away. And it's time for us to see new stuff. And the entire rest of the weekend will be 100% new rules.
Yeah, and let's be fair. We have an almost addition level of change happening right now.
Yeah.
New missions, new like command points, new points. Like there's so much happening.
The data slate was a lot.
This is a really exciting. I'm very glad for how well this matched up with our event.
Oh my god. If this had been 1 week earlier, it would have been real bad.
Oh yeah. I've been like, oh, you're so static. I am a little bit sad that I'm not playing CSM tomorrow for the RTT.
Okay.
Or for the GT.
But you are going to play some CSM this weekend.
I have packed the entire back end of my car with all of my Chaos Space remodels. I am ready Give me some rules and I'll get started.
But you don't have them?
I don't have the rules yet. I have all the leaks that everybody else has, but I don't. There's a lot of connective tissue in there to figure out how to make the list.
Okay. Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up first thing in the morning, pop on that YouTube, and just start looking for people to give me authors.
Well, right now you're playing at 9 a.m. on Saturday. What's WOG got to do with it, which we have to destroy and have be gone?
All right. Make that somebody else.
Yeah, because we don't have enough work players anymore.
Yeah.
we had a number of illness drops, so we're running a lesson to crew here. Actually, at 9 a.m. you're doing New Chaos Who Dis, which is you versus Anthony.
Sounds great.
And then immediately after that on Saturday, Chuck will be headed to Stream 3 with Zach, and they're going to do a CSM breakdown.
Yeah.
With whoever else you'd like to include.
I assume we'll be going through the units, but if the book is bad, we will have an actual breakdown. So we can't handle any more disappointment.
The book is not bad.
No.
At the very least, people will play Emperor's Children.
I've seen Abaddon.
Yes.
I know the book's not bad. He's enough. He could actually hoist up the rest of them on his back and carry them to victory.
I am wildly concerned about the Mr. Abaddon. And I believe that he might be mad at me for the amount of chaos models I've killed in my life. Yeah. And he might run at me, and my elder might be like, huh, well.
When you guys were talking earlier about, oh, Baneblades might be back, I had a physical reaction. Because a Baneblade who's like, hey, by the way, I reroll all to hits and wounds, puts a hole in any kind of chaos.
I used to play Double Shadow Sword.
Yeah.
And when Chuck and I would play, eventually we just decided that I shouldn't use Vengeance of Cadia.
It's just not fun anymore.
Because that stratagem is so dumb.
Well, clearly you've done it enough times, you're not mad anymore. You've processed, you're done.
Yeah. At some point they will just feel better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how vengeance works?
I guess.
Eventually you vengeanced enough.
Yeah.
And you just feel better, and you become one with yourself. And
that's what I learned about from
Batman.
Bride. Oh, well, we go places.
Batman just, he just there's a certain amount of vengeance, and then he's fine, and he just retires.
He's just like two, basically.
2 vengeances.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now we have violence here, in the form of Anthony Vanilla. Now I feel like I should nickname someone Vengeance, because that's a pretty good nickname.
I'd be careful, whoever you name Vengeance, because they might then come.
I'm pretty good at stupid nicknames, so we'll see how I do. All right, so we're going to kick off in a little bit here, off to those games. I believe our commentators are Alex Taus from the Best in Tabletop Network, and Adam Camilleri's gone for a little bit, but he'll be back. He's not gone for forever. That is exactly what's going on here at the 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock time. We do not have a stream host on Table 1, so we'll have to solve that problem for everybody. But we also have to make dinner for people. So there's kind of a lot to do here for us here at the Charity Hammer Ranch. Are the tables ready? Okay. So we'll hand off to them.
Need to restart the stream.
All right, we'll be back, everybody.
See you later.
Bye. Okay.